Yang Berbahagia, Professor Datuk Dr. Asma Ismail, President of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Yang Berusaha, Puan Hazami Habib, Chief Executive Officer of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Yang Berusaha, Dr. Chai Lei Ching, Chairperson of the Young Scientists Network, Academy of Sciences Malaysia, YSN-ASM. Senior Fellows, Fellows of ASM, members of YSN-ASM, ASM partners and ASM affiliates, honored guests and members of the audience. Assalamualaikum, good morning and welcome to the YSN-ASM 2021 Chrysalis Award Grand Final Pitch. On behalf of the organizers of this event, we would like to thank everyone for joining us via Zoom and Facebook Live. I am your host, Haikal Hikmal Hazam, and we hope that everyone is well and in good health. The YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, formerly known as the YSN-ASM Rising Star Award, is an award targeted specifically for final year Malaysian PhD students. This event aims to identify and nurture promising PhD candidates to become future pillars of our nation's science, technology, innovation, and economy STIE ecosystem. Selected finalists will also be provided continued support and mentoring by the YSN-ASM for the next 5 years. This is to coach these finalists to be outstanding researchers who will contribute towards STIE for the nation and the scientific community at large. In recognition for their many talents, all winners will receive a total cash prize of 20,000 ringgit to support their professional development. Before we continue further, we would like to invite Mr. Hendy Putra Herman to recite a prayer to bless this morning's program. Mr. Hendy.
Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka khalaqul azim, innaka sami'un alim, innaka ghafurur rahim, innaka rabbul arshil azim, innakal barrul jawadul karim. Ya Allah, Engkaulah yang mempunyai segala kepujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kepujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kesyukuran, Engkaulah yang memiliki segala pemerintahan. Di tangan Engkau segala kebajikan, kepada Engkaulah kembali segala urusan. Allahumma ya Karim ya Rahim, cucurlah rahmat dan rahimmu ke atas majlis 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award Final Pitch yang diadakan pada hari ini. Berkatilah ia dari awal hingga akhirnya. Ya fa'alu lima yurid. Kami juga memohon perlindungan daripadamu dari segala perkara yang boleh mencacat celakan majlis kami, daripada segala perkara yang melalaikan kami dari berbuat taat kepadamu. Kepadamu jua kami serah segala urusan kami. Rabbana alaika tawakkalna wa ilaika anabna wa ilaikal masir. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you, Mr. Hendy. Honored guests, members of the audience, now let us introduce the 15 2021 Chrysalis Award finalists. Our first finalist is Maimuna Muhammad Ali from the Department of Biological and Agricultural Engineering, University Putra, Malaysia. Teo Aini from the Department of Food Science with Nutrition, UCSI University. Maksud K from the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, International Medical University. From the Department of Life Sciences, International Medical University. Leong Wai Hong from the Department of Fundamental and Applied Sciences, University Technology Petronas. Nurdian Muhammad Rizwan from the Department of Fundamental and Applied Sciences, University Technology Petronas. Xin Yan Yi from the Department of Food Science with Nutrition, UCSI University. Tan Yu Dian from Process Systems Engineering Center, University Technology Malaysia. Fu Kwan Xiong from the Department of Chemical and Environmental Engineering, University of Nottingham, Malaysia campus. Muhammad Razni Shafiq Razak from the Faculty of Forestry and Environment, University Putra, Malaysia. Nurvaizura Muhammad from the Department of Pharmacology, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Aisyah Muhammad Mausin from the Bioprocess and Polymer Engineering, University Technology Malaysia. Teo Jin Lee from the School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, University Sciences Malaysia. Muhammad Amirullah Sahudin from the Department of Chemical Sciences, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. And lastly, Chong Ho Fin from the Department of Pharmacology, University Malaya. Honored guests and members of the audience, we now have our panel of judges to evaluate our finalists during today's grand final pitch. We have the Chief Judge, Professor Dr. Ng Kwan Hung from University Malaya and a Fellow of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia. He is joined by Professor Dr. Abhimanyu Virakumara-Sivam from Sunway University and the ASEAN Young Scientist Network, ASEAN YSN. Dr. Janaka Lauchi Kong from Vitrox Corporation Berhad. Dr. Tan Ying from Clinical Research Malaysia. Engineer Ahmad Fahir Muhammad Shuib from the Malaysian Global Innovation and Creativity Center. And lastly, Ms. Carmen Tong from the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC. Before we start, we would like to invite Professor Insigne Dr. Sharifah Rafida from the 2021 YSN-ASM Science Leadership Working Group Chair to deliver her welcoming remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Asma Ismail, Presiden Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Yang berusaha Puan Hazami Habib, Chief Executive Officer of Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Dr. Chai Lai Ching, Chairperson of Young Scientist Network ASM. Our strategic partners, Merck Sendirian Berhad, Clinical Research Malaysia and Vitrox Corporation Berhad. Senior Fellows, Fellows of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, and members and affiliates of YSN-ASM. Judges and finalists of the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, media representative, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to everyone. First and foremost, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone for attending our virtual Grand Finale 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. Thank you so much for being here with us today and for your kind support. Allow me to introduce more about the YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. The YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award program is designed to groom and train final year Malaysia PhD students below 35 years old to become the future science leader. We aim to identify, develop, recognize, and ultimately empower young future leaders to contribute to our local STI ecosystem. Why is the award called Chrysalis? As you all know, a chrysalis is a butterfly pupa, and it is the stage of transition between being a larva and adult for a butterfly. Yeah. So the term chrysalis was chosen because it reflects our goal to help and nurture and transform a highly potential young leader into a more mature stage, and hopefully they will become a beautiful butterfly after graduation. We hope to positively contribute at this critical junction in their careers. Each cohort is a 5-year project with 1 year of training and 4 years of monitoring. This is the second year of YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, And we are very happy to see the excellent outcome from our previous award finalists, and we hope to continue this program to benefit more. Today, we are gathering here to listen to this year YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award finalists to present their brilliant ideas and celebrate the fruits of their trainings for the past 6 months. As such, I would like to congratulate all our 15 finalists that were chosen as finalists based on a very highly competitive evaluation process. All these 15 finalists have been trained and groomed over the last 6 months through a variety of online workshops on topics such as science leadership, science communication, science advice, responsible conduct of research, MICE-T, commercialization and business plan, and so on. And for your information, the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award has been conducted 100% virtually due to the COVID pandemic. Despite these obstacles, we are very proud to witness their transformation into self-assured, dynamic young researchers over the course of this journey. And for all the finalists, even though we will announce the top 3 winners today, remember that you are already the winners for completing this training. We hope you will fully utilize what you have learned from this program for your future endeavors. And we hope one day to see all of you to become the next future leader that will change the landscape of STI globally. The journey has just begun, and I'm sure there are more rewards to come. Finally, I'd like to thank all the organizing committee members, speakers, mentors, evaluators, and judges for their efforts in planning and supporting the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. I would also like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Academy of Sciences Malaysia for their ongoing support of YSN-ASM programs, as well as our sponsors, Merck Sdn Bhd, Clinical Research Malaysia, and Vitrox Corporation Berhad, for providing monetary awards and internship opportunities to our winners. I hope that everyone stays safe and enjoy the upcoming presentations. All the best to all of the finalists. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sharifah. Now, let us proceed to the grand final pitch. Groups will be given 10 minutes to present their proposals, followed by 10 minutes of Q&A with the judges. The timer will start as soon as our finalists start to speak. The first bell will be rung to indicate that 1 minute is left, and followed by the second bell, which will indicate that the 10 minutes are up. To the presenting team, please do not forget to unmute your audio and turn on your camera throughout your presentation. We kindly ask that the other teams to mute and turn off your cameras while a team is presenting. Now, we have our first group, Group 1, with their proposal titled Integration of Bioengineered Microalgae into Smart Special Magnetic-Driven Microalgae Biomass Recovery Technology Wastewater Treatment System for Sustainable Bioplastic Production. This group consists of Healing Wei, Leong Wai Hong, and Aisha Muhammad Marsin. Group 1, the floor is yours.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We, Team Marimo, would like to bring to you our flagship project entitled Integrations of Bioengineered Microalgae into Smart Wastewater Treatment System for Sustainable Bioplastic Production. Water is crucial in our daily life, while safe and clean water resources are precious for all communities worldwide. However, do you know that 80% of the water was released to the environment without prior treatment after use? I bet you don't. Although the amount of water is able to meet the demand of various users and applications at the moment, there were few occasions in the past where the country had faced adverse water shortage due to extreme drought conditions. Adding to that, we were also triggered by the problems involving 300 million tons of non-degrading plastic that generated every year, which had caused various environmental pollution. This brings us to the main question. How long can we rely on freshwater sources for water supply? And what could we do as the future scientists to solve this problem? It's time to take actions to reclaim our water resources. Introducing the founder to solve this problem. We are Team Marimo, comprises of the fantastic Liang Wai Hong, the spectacular Healing Wei, and the amazing Aisyah Muhammad Martin, which were guided by our stunning mentor, Professor Danny Ng.
Let me drive you along our current situation in the wastewater treatment industry. For one, we are still reliant on surface water as our sole water supply. Second, our existing equipment standards pale in comparison to advanced wastewater treatment systems. And third, the low tariff charges are not sufficient to cover the high operating and maintenance costs. And then we have the microalgae, termed as the supernova of feedstocks. By integrating the microalgae treatment system, the nutrients in wastewater could be recycled more effectively into value-added algae biomass instead of being removed into the atmosphere. Also, this allows us to omit the necessary costs in secondary processes in wastewater treatment plant, indirectly contributing to a sustainable circular biorefinery system with net zero carbon initiative. Clean water and added revenue from algae biomass? Sounds like a win-win to us.
Yes, with this, our program is designed to deliver three main objectives. First, a genetically modified microalgae with enhanced capabilities in carbon photosynthetic capture and biomass production. Second, a special magnetic-driven microalgae biomass recovery technology, which we call it a smart system for microalgae cultivation and harvesting. And third, a profitable microalgae bioplastic material which is non-toxic and biodegradable. Wonder how we're going to do this? Now, let's just bring you through this sub-project under our program. The first project aims to develop a wastewater processing microalgae strain with enhanced efficiency in photosynthesis and biomass production via bioengineering. To do so, we will challenge the microalgae with challenge and send for sequencing for genomic and pathway analysis, followed by target gene editing in the microalgae for functional analysis and performance assessment in wastewater treatment. And once validated, this bioengineered strain can be used for the other two projects to further optimize the efficiency of bioprocessing and bioproduction of the microalgae. And now over to you, Wai Hong, for our second project.
Thank you, Ling Wei. Concurrently, the second project aims at developing an attached microalgae system to be integrated into existing wastewater treatment plants, termed as SMART, our special magnetic-driven microalgae biomass recovery technology. A nano framework composed of magnetized polymer beads are synthesized to capture these microalgae cells into an algae ball, imitating the Marimo moss ball, hence our group name, thus easing algae biomass harvesting and dewatering costs. Simulation studies in wastewater will be conducted to ensure real-time application and optimization, which will then incorporate the novel microalgae strain developed from the first project. Now on to you, Aisha.
Okay, after obtaining the enhanced biomass productivity with cost-effective biomass recovery from the first and the second project, then we could generate our income through the usage of enhanced microalgae waste into new resources of degradable plastic. In this project, we will carry out modeling and optimization to extract high-lipid microalgae from the treated wastewater and develop it into microalgae bioplastic. Higher lipid bioplastic may benefit the ecosystem as the bioplastic made is safe, more durable, and most importantly, it is degradable.
Yes, as you can see, our flagship program is well aligned with the 10-10 milestone framework. Starting from the fundamental genomic analytic and gene editing in the microalgae for wastewater treatment, followed by translational advanced material and smart system for harvesting wastewater processing microalgae, and to the extraction and production of bioplastic made from microalgae. Together, this will contribute significantly to our socio-economic drivers of smart technology and system, water and food, and environment. Not only this, our flagship is also designed to paradise the global goals of Sustainable Development 2030, creating a biorefinery framework integrated with sustainable clean water resource management and responsible bioplastic production, which both echoing the global actions into net zero carbon emissions and green plastic initiative.
And as you can see, our product could tackle up to $125 billion in market size by 2028, just by developing an active microalgae bioplastic packaging, which is our clear output from this flagship program. While for a simple payback from this program, we could obtain 13.2 million tons of algal oil from the integration of the smart wastewater treatment system and reduce about 70% of cost production. As for the financial plan, from the 750,000 investment given, we target to achieve up to 25% return of investment within 4 years by break-even the profit after selling more than 94,000 units of Marimo microalgae bioplastic. Hence, this program will be a tremendous income generation towards the net zero carbon emission program.
For development of novel capable algae strains, we plan to look into joint ventures with established genetic biotechnology companies. For that, we have the Sarawak Biodiversity Center in cooperation with Chitose Group and Mitsui Crop. And at the same time, we plan to establish the first pilot plant with Indah Water Consortium Putrajaya into an integrated smart wastewater treatment system. As for algae bioplastic, we are looking forward to be a part of sustainable commitments by food giants such as Unilever and Nestle into reducing virgin plastic packaging with support from Malaysian Investment Development Authority. Here, we, the Marimo Group, aim to be at the forefront in promoting microalgae biorefinery concept in Malaysia. With our developed products, novel algae strain, smart wastewater solutions, and algae-based bioplastics, we hope to promote Marimo as a startup in response to the uprising energy crisis, climate change, and depletion of natural resources. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is at a turning point in its climate journey. Charting the right course of action against global warming provides our nation a vital opportunity to protect our environment, reduce our carbon footprint, and at the same time, create a competitive advantage. When can we rise to the occasion to be once called the Tiger of Asia once again?
Yes, it is for sure that our Marimo project is embracing a triple bottom line oriented framework for better water resource management and value-added bioproduction, which both will be of beneficial to the planet and people with impactful profit for a circular bioeconomy. To this end, we in Marimo Group wish to invite all of you on board with us for this flagship program, joining venturing a new avenue for a sustainable biorefinery nexus, integrating the microalgae wastewater treatment and bioplastic production in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes to the end of our presentations. We truly appreciate your support and welcome any comments. Once again, we are Team
Marimo.
Marimo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I would like to invite fellow judges to ask questions.
All right, I'm gonna go first. First of all, congratulations. I love how enthusiastic all of you, and your slides look so professional, like as though you really have this business ready. And I wish I had 750,000 ringgit, to consider investing. But before I invest, I need to ask some questions. All right, so I'm a geneticist, so my questions obviously are going to be more from the bio side of things. you talk about this idea of editing the genes within this microalgae, and as a result, changing its ability, for the better. Could you perhaps tell us, what kind of genes would be targeted using this CRISPR? And then the second one is, what do you have to say about people that criticize that bioplastics really isn't the solution to the plastic problem that we have, especially in the context of carbon neutrality, as well as the various different issues with plastic contamination? Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Abi. I think for the first questions, for us, according to the literature search, now probably the major focus for microalgae gene editing now is mainly on the light antenna, because you want to improve the photosynthesis. So light antenna will be the basic component ones can target of. But instead of that, we want to do more personalized gene profiling, because we're going to change these cells into our local wastewater. So in terms of behavior, there might be some kind of epigenetic or genetic change due to the environment. So we want to do a profiling sequencing to create a customized, personalized microalgae strain just for our Malaysian local municipal wastewater. Yeah, this is the rationale why the first part of the project, we aims to do sequencing first. Then from there, we target the specific pathway, customized to our local treatment. Then only we do the gene edition. Yeah.
And to the second question?
Yeah, the second question. Aisha?
Okay, regarding for the bioplastic, in my opinion, even though that we are targeting about the net zero carbon emission, and with the usage of the microalgae waste, because currently we are targeting for the bioplastic inside by having the fast food. But if we want to see that, even though people would like to use the bioplastic in the future, because we are targeting for the net zero carbon in 2050. So by that, we would like to have that the bioplastic to be used by all, and we would do some small contributions towards by using the renewable resources to produce the bioplastic production.
Great, thank you very much.
Any other question?
Hi, good morning.
Oh, sorry. Okay, come on, go first.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. I have a question. How would what you are planning to do would impact the environment differently, given that we already have a biodegradable product in the market already? Thank you.
Okay, basically in my research study about food packaging, by having the bioplastic, we were using starch, but instead of using starch, we want to use something new, we want to use a sustainable waste, and it is come from the marimo that we want to use, and it is actually not very still have a large production by using this marimo. Many uses carrageenan, many uses glycerol only, so that we want to have an upgrade of by using the sustainable of the wastewater treatment. So we could do an win-win situation to treat the wastewater, and then we just use the wastewater extract.
Okay, thank you.
Prof, one last question, Prof. Just to get some clarification on your route to market, Team Marimo. I saw your slides that you are going to partner with the Unilever of the world and all that. But I also heard that you are planning.
Sorry, sir, could you talk a little bit louder?
Oh, salamat. Sorry, I'm my earphone not working very good today. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just a quick question on your route to market. I heard that when there was a plan for you to create your own brand, Marimo plastic. So is that going to be targeting the individual individuals, meaning that you are producing your own brand and your own product, and then macam Tupperware punya model, or are you targeting the packaging companies, the E+ of the world, the Tetra of the world?
Yeah, pass to one like Wai Hong.
For that, actually, we would like to provide bioplastic material, I mean, because they in the end, our consumers and like everyone goes shopping. So everyone loves to carry plastic bags, rather to pay 20 cents for a plastic bag rather than taking a tote bag or something. So when it comes to this, we plan to actually first penetrate into the market by supplying bioplastic materials to make plastic packagings. So from that, actually, we can actually put in our label, our Marimo Group label, to just slowly seep into the market. And eventually, once we already have the model to develop our own company as a big startup, then eventually we'll come up with solutions or maybe some plastic Tupperwares and packagings with our Marimo Group brand. Yeah.
Another question?
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
I saw that your budget is actually 750K, right?
Yes.
So in case you didn't get the full amount of the funding for this study, can your study still proceed? What is your alternative plan for it?
Okay, actually the 750K is based on the grant that the Malaysia project actually allocated minimum 250K actually for each project. But of course, our generated inputs and everything, since we are using wastewater and everything, we actually has much a lower budget, but we just set it as maximum as what is being allocated by the Malaysian government as our allocated with paper publications, entering conference, subscribing to patents and intellectual properties. So that will be included as well. But that is just the 250K per sub project. That's the maximum amount that allocated by the Malaysian government grant. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe Prof. Ng,
Yeah.
questions?
Yes, I would ask you. You mentioned this magnetic-driven microalgae. Can you tell us more about what is the role of this magnetic? How does it work?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you replace it by something else, non-magnetic?
Actually, the magnetic we try to reduce the harvesting process in microalgae treatment systems. Like example, Malaysia, we currently have the normal activated / conventional process. But in this case, we plan to actually input or integrate microalgae treatment as the tertiary wastewater treatment. But since microalgae, just like your normal chlorophyll drink, it is very, very fine. These are like very, very super small, tiny microorganisms when we want to harvest these biomasses, is hard. Therefore, since that literature's reported, or actually I do conduct experiments, we found that the surface of this microalgae is actually positively charged. So if we use a magnetic charge, which is negatively charged, we can attract these microalgae to actually clump together, forming actually a Marimo ball, which is actually our inspiration for this project. So once all these microalgae are accumulated or clumped inside a ball, we can just easily harvest it without having to worry about the harvesting and dewatering process incurred when we want to harvest the microalgae. And just for your information, harvesting and dewatering process are often the main challenges to integrate microalgae into wastewater treatment, which actually comprises up to 70% of the cost. So by using our specially nano framework magnetized ball, where we can bake them into clumps of Marimo moss ball, we can actually save 70% from the microalgae cultivation system.
By the way, you mentioned about charge. There's no charge in magnet, only north and south pole. Because you talk about charge will be electric charge, so that's why it's good to be sure of your concept. And then you mentioned about very small. How small is small is microalgae? Could you give us an analogy?
Okay, actually, microalgae is like micro size, like microorganisms. Actually, it's based on 0.2 to 0.5 micro size. So if let's say you were to pour, I think everyone knows about spirulina drink. Spirulina is actually one kind of microalgae. So it's like when you buy those packaged spirulina, right, it's in like powder form. So once you mix in some water, it totally becomes a liquid. A liquid just easily to drink. So that's actually what microalgae is. So like microalgae, unlike macroalgae, so we plan to clump them inside the ball to ease the harvesting so that we can actually see physically with our eyes and collect them physically via netting.
Okay, thanks. How about the other judges? You have any, about 1 more minute to go.
Right, I guess, and I'll ask a question about the Chrysalis Award itself. How has this experience been, and what has been the best experience thus far?
Maybe I can speak on behalf of my team. And actually, we are very glad to see Prof. Abi again. That's what our science called advice. So actually, for us, I think we can resonate together, especially when it comes to network and collaborations, like getting to know all participants, bonding them together through the workshops and everything. And of course, Prof. Sharifah for guiding us a lot. And of course, Prof. Abi, and also Dr. Zulkifli as well. So all the workshops has been very, very inspiring. Everything is good to know the experiences and the professionalism throughout the entire YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. But what we do treasure most is the network and collaboration, which only Young Scientist Network or Academy Science Malaysia can provide to our local Malaysian young scientists.
Okay. That's good. I think, thank you for all the comments, questions from the judges and from the team members. Okay, I think that's all for this session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, judges.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Group 1, for that great presentation, and thank you to the judges. Let us give the judges some time to key in their scores, and we will proceed with the next part of our event. Honored guests and members of the audience, we have a video presentation from Merck Malaysia Sdn Bhd for everyone today. Please enjoy.
We are Merck. You know of us as a quality-driven leading pharma and life science company with a rich heritage. But we are so much more. Think of us as a globally connected network of labs, engineers, and scientists. A network that has been built over 350 years and several generations of scientists, pharmacists, and chemists who create complex chemicals and synthesize new molecules through our cutting-edge technologies. Leading innovations in the field of life science, we have gained the trust of the global scientific community by supplying the safest raw materials, technology, expertise, and testing tools, so that they can create high quality and safe products for the world. When consumers place their faith in prescribed medicines, we are working hard to ensure safety, quality, and efficacy of the drugs through our reliable testing tools and standards for the pharma industry. Drugs and therapies are not the only aspect of us. Our offerings extend to the entire healthcare ecosystem. Our high-quality products for pathology testing and research and development products are used in hospitals and labs. We are a part of the success of India's leading research institutes. We provide cutting-edge research tools and kits, along with support on nanotechnology, genomics, and molecular biology that paves the way for newer discoveries. Our testing tools and test standards are used in the F&B and cosmetic industry. We also create flavors and fragrances, so the next time when you smell a nice perfume on someone or indulge in a delicious recipe, think of us. Environment sustenance is a key challenge for the world today. We play our part in testing through our air, water, soil, and microbial testing products, which help prevent and control health and environmental hazards. The water from your taps is consumption certified thanks to our testing equipments. The water used in the beverage industry is purity certified through our chemical and microbial testing products. Through our best-in-class lab materials, cutting-edge technologies, and a broad portfolio of 3 lakh plus products, we are committed to solving the toughest problems in life science and ensuring better health for people everywhere. We touch lives, and we are dedicated to make them better every day. Life science is at a cusp of a revolution, and we are at the forefront. We are constantly pushing the limits through a comprehensive portfolio led by brands like Sigma Aldrich, MilliQ, Millipore, Supelco, SAFC, and BioReliance. And we are leading this change through making research simpler, faster, and safer, a leading enabler for the global life science industry. We are Merck.
Honored guests and members of the audience, up next, we have Group 2 with their proposal titled Rescue to Feed, a multidisciplinary approach integrating sensor-aided food rescue system and nutrition-focused intervention towards combating food insecurity and malnutrition. Over to Group 2.
Thank you, Mr. Haikal. Good morning to everyone. We are from the STEM Gurus. I'm Yuedin.
I'm Aini.
And I'm Amir.
Today, we are pleased to introduce you our research idea, Rescue to Feed, a multidisciplinary approach to combat food insecurity. Before we begin, may I ask if everyone had your breakfast? While we are grateful to start our day with a filled tummy, but when we look out of the window and see a waving white flag, we may find those who are still suffering from hunger. The White Flag campaign is more than an indication of the effect of MCO, but the severity of food insecurity that has long been a global issue. 2 billion people are uncertain to obtain enough food, while 750 million of us are still hungry. Food insecurity is more than just hunger. Food insecure families with low income often consume less sufficient and less nutritious food, which leads to malnutrition. Under these circumstances, children are the most vulnerable, as malnourishment will leave them a long-term impact. But when people struggle to feed themselves and their children, an enormous amount of food is being dumped away every day. Do you know that the level of child stunting in Malaysia is even worse than African countries like Ghana? 1 in 5 children below the age of 5 in Malaysia are stunted. Meanwhile, Malaysians are throwing away 4,000 tons of still edible food every day, which can feed 3 million people.
Members on the floor, the issues that we have highlighted, food waste, food insecurity, and malnutrition can be tackled by one strategy, which is food rescue. In fact, food rescue has been in place for years to help alleviate these issues. But however, there are 3 major obstacles that limit the development of food rescue system. First, there's a lack of technology-driven approach to address time-sensitive rescue opportunities for delicate surplus food. Second, how about the nutrition benefits for food insecure people? Tackling food insecurity is way more than feeding the hungry, but also to ensure adequate nutrition is delivered. Last but not least, we need a food rescue system design that feeds people in a sustainable way. As we talk about food rescue, we must not ignore the environmental, social, and economic sustainability.
This is where we, the Rescue to Feed program, consisting of 3 sub-projects, fills the gap in food insecurity and food waste solution. At retailer, expired meat is normally discarded as waste. To assist time-sensitive food rescue in our first objective, Sub-Project A will develop a chemo sensor to detect the freshness of meat products. This new sensor can be used for retail-level food spoilage monitoring and to recover food from waste. The rescued meat is then distributed to the food bank and subsequently to the food insecure P40 households to provide them sufficient nutrition. To address child malnutrition concern in our second objective, Sub-Project B will evaluate the impact of nutrition education, targeting parental feeding practices on infants and young children nutritional status among the food insecure families. For our final objective, Sub-Project C will design a sustainable rescue to feed system considering the environmental, economic, and health aspect using modeling tools.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first sub-project aspires to develop a new regenerable and portable chemosensor as a real-time food spoilage monitoring tool. Introducing the new chemosensor called iFoodSense. In phase 1, new sensing material will be produced and deposited onto the nanoparticle solution as a supporting matrix. Thus, the sensor kit will readily be inserted into the portable reader. In phase 2, the chemosensor will undergo several optimization, performance, real sample analysis, and method validation to prove the applicability of the developed method. This sensor can be applied at retail level to determine the food quality. The most important feature of this sensor as compared to the commercialized one is that it offers high selectivity, low cost, can be reused for 6 times the disposable one, fast response, and can be developed as a smart sensor for future project.
And sub-project B, food insecure Malaysian household will be targeted. A cross-sectional study will be conducted to determine the prevalence of food insecurity, characteristic and dietary intake of food insecure household, parental feeding practices, and the factors influencing it, the association between parental feeding practices and infants and young children nutritional status in the context of food insecurity. Based on a finding from a cross-sectional study, a nutrition education intervention will be conducted in the phase 2. Food insecure households with malnourished infant or young children identified from phase 1 will be invited for a randomized control trial where they will undergo 12 weeks of nutrition education targeting parental feeding practices. The outcomes on parental feeding practices as well as infants and young children, diet diversity, and nutritional status will be assessed upon completion and post 6 months.
Sub-project C aims to design a sustainable retail-level food rescue system using mathematical optimization. In phase 1, data will be collected from various sources and sub-projects for optimization input. A superstructure will be developed to describe the potential integrations in the food rescue system, especially opportunities for sensor application. Based on the superstructure, a cost optimization model will be targeted in phase 2 to design the retail-level food waste management system with minimum cost. Next, an extended multi-objective optimization model will simultaneously minimize the food cost and greenhouse gas footprint of the clean food rescue system while maximizing the diet quality of the food insecure households. Lastly, sustainability assessments will be performed in phase 3 to evaluate the optimal food rescue system design in the economic, nutritional, and environmental perspectives. The outcomes from these sub-projects will be shared among each other. The sensor data from sub-project A and the dietary data from sub-project B will be shared with sub-project C for optimization. The findings from sub-project A and C will recommend food groups for the nutrition education module development in sub-project B. All integrated sub-projects will be completed within 36 months. The data from our program will be shared on the Malaysia Open Science platform.
Our program will generate a novel concept and modeling tools for sustainable sensor-aided retail-level food rescue system. The findings will be presented in conferences and to key stakeholders. Sub-project A and B is expected to use a budget of 250,000 ringgit, and sub-project C will require a budget of 240,000 ringgit. A total of 740,000 ringgit is expected to be required to complete the entire program.
This project will definitely have a big impact for the economy, environment, and society. For economic benefits, it could save waste management costs and recover food value up to 48 million annually based on our calculation. But how about the environment? Around 8,000 tons of avoidable food can be recovered annually. Plus, it could clean the atmosphere by reducing huge amount of CO2 emission as well as reducing water pollution. For a greater social well-being, this idea could potentially rescue food to feed more than 40,000 people daily, as well as improve the rate of malnutrition and reduce health inequalities among the food insecure families. The incorporation of sensor technology to drive Malaysia's water and food sector will balance these 3 pillars of sustainability, economy, environment, and society, leading the nations to zero hunger and responsible consumption and production.
Ladies and gentlemen, we must acknowledge that the pandemic has significantly changed our food landscape and make it more difficult for low-income families to obtain sufficient food. While our programs offer both short and long-term approaches, we are also taking a significant step towards a bigger vision, which is to develop a sustainable, multi-level food rescue system to end hunger. We envision a future with food and nutrition security for all. Before we conclude our presentation, Let's share with you this quote. If we can conquer space, we can conquer childhood hunger. We believe with this program as a starting point, we can do more by ensuring every man, woman, and child enjoy the right to be free from hunger and malnutrition. We leave no one behind. And this ends our presentation from the Kangaroos. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Group 2. Was impressed by the quotation from Buzz Aldrin. Who is he, by the way?
He's one of, I didn't do much background check on Buzz Aldrin. He's one of the astronauts.
Yeah.
So the story behind, yes. The story behind this, we feel like it's very much aligned, despite that he has said this quote numerous years ago, but it's still relevant to nowadays, our scenario these days. Childhood hunger still exists. In fact, it's not only childhood hunger, but also hunger among the people, adults, men, women, and elderly.
Thank you. Have you watched the Toy Story, by the way? The Toy Story.
Yes.
Yeah, that I remember I used to watch with my children, Buzz Aldrin, that used to have the toy. Thank you. It's very interesting. Affects all of us. So I invite my fellow judges to ask questions and comment.
Yep, I will go ahead. Great job. Again, I'm so impressed by your communication skills and beautiful slides and very seamless. So that's fantastic. You're making our task, of course, very difficult. But my first questions regarding this whole idea of food rescue and food security, I'm sure the chair of the Young Scientist Network, Dr. Chai, is very excited to hear your project. Can I just know who are the stakeholders that you have actually engaged, when actually formulating where the pain points are with regards to achieving this goal? And the second question is, if it's only going to take us 3.25 million to solve the food security problem in Malaysia, why hasn't anyone else done it yet? What are the risks that we have to take as investors if we were to put in that money in your project?
Okay, thank you, Prof. Abi, for the question. I can answer the first question. The stakeholders that we have consulted in formulating our rescue system, we are also referring to other countries that have done it successfully. They are still embarking on the journey. For Malaysia, we are still in a very, I would say, there's no transformation yet. So the stakeholder that we have actually considered is actually the retailer. Because retailer right now, there is already an interest from them in doing all this environmental friendly, to donate food to the food banks. Second is definitely the food bank, because they are the connection between the food insecure people and the food. And number 3 is we are also targeting on the people, which is the food insecure people, because our key idea here is to develop a sustainable system. And for it to be sustainable, we must consult all the people, the food insecure people, the process, and also the entire system. So for now, for our system now is retail level. So for now we're up to retail level. But of course, for the bigger vision, there is an opportunity to expand them into multi-level. I hope that answers your question. And for the second question, our team members can answer that.
All right, thank you, Aini. For the first question, actually, I would like to add up. So yes, previously we have already engaged with one of the soup kitchens, the Kachara soup kitchens, in order to formulate our concept. But also we have identified some potential stakeholders that we can work with, especially from the government, which is the Ministry of the Housing and Local Government, as well as the Ministry of the Domestic Trades and Consumer Affairs, because they have already been starting food bank programs to help those food insecure households and B40 households. So definitely these stakeholders are who we target to attract and to convince them into participate in our program. And of course, for the second question, this project is only a pilot project and is a transformation point and a starting point for our program, which could be extended to national and even global levels. So of course, this 740,000 ringgit is only for the beginning and the transformation to implement this idea into the stakeholders and as well as our governments and retailers. So if we could succeed at this point and give them findings to support that this idea could potentially help the Malaysia in the social, environment and economy aspects, of course, we would expand it to multi-level and even to global levels for food rescue to tackle the food insecurity issues. I hope that answers your questions, Prof. Avi.
But I think Amirul wants to say something.
I wish to add regarding the first question regarding the portable reader. We will collaborate with the Metron company who will provide our sensor design, which is the reader, the iFood sense. So our responsibility is to design the new sensor strip, the electrode to insert the reader. So they will customize our desired sensor reader. So we will optimize the sensor strip to insert to detect the freshness and the spoilage of the freshness of meat and other poultry. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Ms. Kaman.
Ms. Kaman.
Hi. I have a question. How much would this sensor cost, and who will be your target audience or target potential user for your sensor? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Regarding the sensor cost, the reader itself, we have a quotation for the Metron company is around 5,500 per reader. 5,500 per reader. And one food line, let's say the seafood line, will require one sensor. So that one is the lab scale cost, 5,500. But I believe when we do at industrial level, the cost for the reader will be much, much cheaper, 50% or 75% reduced in fee. So the next cost is about the sensor strip. The sensor strip is around 2 ringgit, the 2 ringgit at lab scale level. So we believe at industrial, if you will scale up the industrial level, so the cost of the sensor strip will be much lower than 2 ringgit per strip and can be used for several times. That's what we call regenerable sensor. Other than cost is Yudian.
For the cost of the sensor, we believe that this application of the sensor could actually help to reduce the food waste management costs at the retailer side. And so if they can potentially implement this system to help them manage their food spoilage monitoring. So we hope that they could recover those waste that is conventionally treated as waste towards the landfill could be recovered back, and we could create more food value from this surplus food, which we save from the landfills. So that is why we think that it is justifiable to have the retailers to implement this system in order for them to recover more food and to reduce their cost in food wastage treatment.
Thank you. Any other potential target audience that you are looking to engage, like Dr. Abi mentioned just now? Any other stakeholder apart from what you have shared with us just now?
Yes, Ms. Carmen. Other than the retailer, what we can do is, for example, because for food rescue system here, when food waste is managed efficiently, means the surplus food can be rescued efficiently without going to a landfill. That is actually two big opportunities here. One, of course, because our food insecurity rate is on the rise, so it can be channeled for the food insecure people. Second, there is opportunity for it to be turned into a profitable business model whereby we can create additional value for this surplus food. So we can still resell it. So one of the good ideas is that we can establish a social hypermarket. The social hypermarket is the idea where they'll use this surplus food. So we sell it at a cheaper price, especially for example, we'll give priority for less privileged people, low income people to purchase it. So we are still generating income from this surplus food, other than also another possibility to donate it to the people. I hope we answer your question.
So I would like some additional add-ups. So for the extra stakeholders, actually besides the retailers, we can also aim those food banks. We have already Yayasan Food Bank Malaysia, we have Kechara Soup Kitchen, we have the Lost Food Project, and we believe that our program and our models, our modeling tools could help them in sustainable planning of their food basket delivering to the food insecure households. So definitely we have many stakeholders that could be engaged in this program, and we believe that with all the collaboration from these parties, we could help to secure the food security level in Malaysia. Thank you, Ms.
Yes.
Carmen.
And to add on, we actually believe that government will play an active role because government recently we have this Yayasan Food Bank, which is actually powered by the government. It's a government initiative. Also, government is doing a lot of food basket effort. We also have, just last year, we have this Malaysian Food Donors Protection Act, which is actually encourage food waste to be donated. So we believe in the future, we can get government to work inside this initiative that involve both the social, the economic sector, such as the retailer and the environment.
Thank you.
Any other comments? May I ask about this chemo sensor? What signals does it sense or detect? And what is the status if you are working on that?
Okay, the signal is that the current signal. So the first thing, we will code our metric support, which is the zirconia nanoparticle solution. Then we code another sensing material, the novelty one, which is the copper sheet-based complexes. The sensing material will detect the histamine via a chemist option, which is the lone pair from the histamine towards our copper metal empty orbital. So this binding will create a current value on the electrochemical signal. So the reader will display a current signal. Let's say this signal, let's say 100 microampere. So 100 microampere is already a spoil level already. So we have to dump it away. So if below the 100 microampere, then it still can be used and reprocessed to a cooked food and can be donated to the food banks.
Hope I answer your question.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have you developed a prototype of this?
Yes. Previously, my research group already patented this method of spoilage detector, but different support, different contact, different sensing material. But this one that one is a prototype in the lab. But this one we introduced a new sensor which is portable and regenerable and can be used portably in the food line rather than we use at the lab scale. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Other questions from the other judges?
Hi, Prof.
Yeah.
Sorry, team STEM Garu, eh? Okay.
Yes, STEM Guru.
All right. Okay, just a quick comment on your sub-project B too. I don't think you need 36 months to complete that project because I am sure that we already have organization, agencies and ministries doing the identification of the characteristic of the dietary intake and all that. So you might want to talk to them. So I think you won't need 36 months lah for sub-project 2. And then just a quick comment also, you also might want to link up with some of the social entrepreneur ataupun social businesses that are already doing this. I can give Zero Hunger, dia macam food bank juga, they actually collect food to be distributed to the B40 household and all that. And also Pasar Grab. So Pasar Grab, what they do, they actually get food, produce donated by the retailers and they actually sell it they sell it at a very affordable punya cost lah to the B40 punya targeted group. So they are already companies have started doing this. You might want to connect to them lah to accelerate your project.
Thank you for the very good suggestion. We definitely will look into it. Another concern regarding is the timeline for sub-project B is that, allow me to clarify. I understand that some government agencies are also they have their own database for low-income household, but that I will believe that there is still lack of a very specific data in regards to food insecure household that actually have a malnourished infant or young children. So so for sub-project B, we are actually dividing that into 2 phases. Phase 1 is a cross-sectional study. So this cross-sectional study will allow us to find the target household and also to understand the household characteristic. And most importantly is actually the parental feeding practices and the factors that can influence it. so that this finding, we can use it for phase 2 when it comes to design and nutrition education. Because for the nutrition education in phase 2, we want to target to change, to improve the parental feeding practices so that the outcomes on infants and young children, diet diversity and nutritional status can be improved over time. I hope it can add up to your, can clarify your question, and definitely we thank you for your recommendation.
Yeah, I like to echo the other judges what they commented, because the food security is quite urgent. All of us are affected by that. It'd be good we could accelerate the program instead of 3 years or longer. Right? I'm sure with all the fantastic minds you have and the various government agencies all chipped in to speed up this program will be excellent. I'd like to see this become a reality.
Thank you, Prof. We also
Thank you, Prof.
would like to do it in real
Yeah.
benefit of people.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
support. Yeah, we also think this is a really urgent issue and we would like to see it become a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sense it because I work with this food distribution working in my charity, so I can sense it. I'm a person who's Turin Padang, so I understand the real issue. Good. I need a few one. Oh. Okay. I think that's all the time we have. Sorry, just thank you once again.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, all
Thank you to
judges.
all the judges.
Thank you very much, all the judges.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you, Group 2. Thank you, judges. Thank you, Group 2, again for that presentation and highlighting on child hunger. Now, we have a video for the audience to watch, provided by Clinical Research Malaysia. Please enjoy.
Selecting a clinical trial site is a critical decision that can impact the entire medicine development program. Many factors have to be taken into account when it comes to selecting countries. A good decision is based on a thorough observation. Malaysia has a large multi-ethnic population of 30 million, which carries the advantage of providing genetic diversity, vital in any clinical trial. As a developing nation, it has a high prevalence of first world diseases, whereby coronary artery disease, CAD, is the largest single cause of death in Malaysia. Type 2 diabetes is also seen as a growing health issue in Malaysia, and in recent years, a rise in the incidence of cancer was reported. Breast cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer, nasopharyngeal cancer, and cervical cancer. Malaysia is fast becoming the hub for industry-sponsored research, ISR, among Asian countries. This country shoulders a strong possibility of surpassing its Western counterparts with its large pool of highly qualified, well-trained healthcare professionals and state-of-the-art medical technologies. It also has excellent information, coupled with an efficient referral system within the Ministry of Health, as well as strong support and commitment from the Malaysian government. Make the essential choice. Choose a quality clinical trial site.
Honored guests, members of the audience, Group 3 is up next with their proposal titled Multidisciplinary Approaches for Smart and Sustainable Medical Waste Management. Group 3, the floor is yours.
2020 has been a very different year. With the new decade comes new greetings, new fashion trends, and even new garbage. The COVID-19 pandemic has made personal protective equipment vital in stopping the spread of the COVID-19 virus, protecting our frontliners, our community, ourselves, and our loved ones. But this circumstance has led to a surge in PPE production and usage, with WHO estimating 89 million medical masks, 76 million gloves, and 1.6 million goggles used by healthcare professionals per month. Consequently, medical waste has drastically increased all throughout the globe. In the peak of the pandemic in Wuhan, China, approximately 240 tons of medical waste was produced. And in Malaysia, we're not too far off, estimating to produce 210 tons of medical waste per day. I'm so sorry, Leanne, you're muted.
Currently, Malaysia disposes medical waste with incineration and landfilling. Incineration is efficient for handling infectious and hazardous waste. However, it contributes to air pollution, causing acid rain and respiratory disease. This is because during incineration, the waste are combusted, releasing toxic gas to the atmosphere. Similarly, landfilling pollutes the air, soil, and water, posing health risks onto both the environment and public health, not to mention that it occupies hectares of land. With this, Malaysia is in need to reform the current waste management program.
To address the costly and environmentally damaging methods, we propose to dispose the medical waste with vacuum pyrolysis, where the waste will be turned into secondary oil. However, another key issue with waste management is the inefficient collection. Therefore, we propose an integrated Internet of Things platform called MyMedWaste, where the application will render effective collection routes while also optimizing the pyrolysis plants. And finally, to ensure the sustainability of the project, a socio-economic approach is incorporated to gauge the pyrolysis capacity, as well as provide stakeholder feedback and sustainability assessments on the environment and finance. And finally, all of this will be enrooted into legislative application.
Have you ever wondered how the healthcare industry in Malaysia is likely to develop using smart, cost-effective, and revolution of internet using IoT-driven platforms? This will come in handy by integrating the IoT-based system into a mobile application. Nearly everything can benefit from apps development. Medical waste data will be generated through the socio-economic study with a longitudinal survey from the healthcare facilities. This data will be then integrated into the apps as a real-time information to predict medical waste trajectories, also plan for efficient collection routes. Based on the scheduled collection routes set through these apps, medical waste can be collected accordingly.
After the collection, the medical waste will be treated, in which we use green technology approach. Here, the waste will undergo several processes to produce value-added product, which is the oil. This is the key to create circular economy, in which we propose to turn waste into wealth. But the question is, technically, how can we do that? Let us look a bit deeper into the journey of the medical waste here and how it ended up becoming a value-added product. The waste will first be pre-treated using microwave method for disinfection and drying. Then they will be shredded into smaller pieces before the extrusion process. In the extruder, the waste is basically melted to prepare it for the vacuum pyrolysis. This is the key part. During the pyrolysis, the wastes are heated at a very high temperature, and at this stage, gaseous molecules forms. Then they will pass through the condensation unit and condense into secondary oil, which is our product. So this product, it can be used as energy source as well as a chemical feedstock for polymer synthesis. It is a question, why do we select vacuum pyrolysis? This is because under low pressure vacuum condition, the boiling point of the compound will decrease significantly, as we refer to the Clausius-Clapeyron equation. And so we need to use a lower temperature. So due to the low temperature use, more energy can be conserved as we compare to other types of pyrolysis. And of course, higher liquid proportion will be produced. It is also worth mentioning as well that this whole process are optimized using artificial intelligence. The product projection, of course, it can be monitored using My MedWaste app.
Ladies and gentlemen, today over 2.7 people in the world use smartphones. Apps have become parts of the fabrics of our lives. We usually use them to wake up, play games, read books, or even watch our favorite TV shows all on our mobile apps. With mobile trends on the rise, we have designed My MedWaste apps, which is compatible with your iOS and mobile operating system. My MedWaste targets two potential groups of people. First, the medical waste management companies, and the second is the oil investors. So, how does it work? First, the curious data sent to My MedWaste allows the users to predict medical waste trajectories and plan for efficient collection routes. Sure, there are other features which includes the user and requests to be deployed into the apps. Apart from that, My MedWaste allows the updates of relevant information such as collecting schedule and decision-making for high-grade oil production from the vacuum pyrolysis. Finally, the corresponding results and data will also send via web server to develop weight-based application in order to generate real-time monitoring information. We could make it easy and instantaneous with just one click on a smartphone.
Now, selecting an ideal waste management program can be tedious, as it involves multiple sectors and stakeholders. Outdated and ambiguous data can also make policymakers hesitant in decision-making. But with the increase in medical waste, the country urgently needs a scientifically and financially sustainable solution. Therefore, an integrated decision-making framework was conceptualized to provide an evidence-based report for policymakers. The framework utilizes a multi-criteria decision-making method that consists of the longitudinal study on the medical waste output, qualitative assessment for focus group discussion, quantitative assessment from combined life cycle analysis and life cycle costs. All of these dimensions will then be mathematically analyzed by analytic hierarchy process and Vickr to rank and screen for the best optimization and amendments to the project. This will provide policymakers the confidence to make an informative decision during pressing times.
Since the management of medical waste is also a vital part of the healthcare system, it requires vigorous actions from the beginning until the final disposal. Considering its impact on environmental, social, and economic aspects, this project is expected to reduce 95% in waste volume, reduce carbon dioxide emissions, soil and air pollution. Also to increase public and environmental health. The shift of circular economy has also brought a new shape to the medical waste management by creating value-added products, which is the oil, from the generated waste, thus offering financial benefits. Additionally, this project will achieve targets in Sustainable Development Goals and 10-10 MICE framework.
Ladies and gentlemen, a plastic wave is approaching, but it is not too late to prepare ourselves. Together with My MedWaste, we can provide a holistic, sustainable, and environmentally friendly solution. Together, we can revolutionize Malaysia's medical waste management that will safeguard both public health and the environment.
This is our team, supervised by Associate Professor Dr. Ho Wai Shin from YSN-ASM.
Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Tri. Excellent presentation, something that concerns us. It's all the disposed, contaminated face masks around. This is a good solution. So let's invite the judges to ask questions.
Okay, I'll start. So yeah, I'm obviously very uncomfortable with silence, so that's why I have to start. But judges, the other judges, feel free to also volunteer. If you wanted to ask a question, I'm happy to. Again, congratulations, Team 3. You did an amazing job. Again, very relevant very contemporary issue with medical waste and various different elements as we continue to transition between epidemic, pandemic, endemic. But you're right. I mean, the plastic epidemic is certainly a very long-term issue to address. I was quite intrigued by one of your slides at the end that suggested that 95% reduction in waste volume. Could you help explain to us how did you come to that number?
Right. Hi. Thank you, Tommy, for the question. So the value of 95% actually coming from the literatures on the vacuum pyrolysis, and it has been proven that the vacuum pyrolysis can reduce the waste volume because the waste are being converted for vacuum pyrolysis. It is estimated to convert the waste into almost 70% liquid product and around 10 to 15% of gas product, and also the rest is going to be the solid product. So that is how we can foresee that 95% of the waste volume can 95% of waste volume can decrease. Yeah, so that the basic is because of the production, and also the solid waste is in the form of carbon black or biochar. It is in the form of what do we call that? Something. Yeah, so it is like carbon black powder form. Yeah.
Okay,
thank you, Prof.
Yeah, and you also asked about carbon neutrality. I mean, you also mentioned about carbon neutrality, right? How do you plan to offset your what's your source of energy for your vacuum pyrolysis?
This is not as currently the project is we are looking into what we are looking into is to make a preliminary study first, okay? And if it is possible, of course, we would. It is very possible for us as we generate the gas as well, and that gas can be reused to actually generate the power plant itself. The pyrolysis plant itself. So of course, it is going to be more renewable. But as for the start, of course, we need to start with the current generators that is available now.
Maybe I have a questions. May I know how many % of the medical waste is being converted into value-added product as of now? So with your proposal, are you going to increase that percentage? And if yes, by how much roughly?
So right now, based on literature, we expect at least 50% of the waste will be converted into oil. So, but of course, this will be supplemented with the optimization from both the artificial intelligence as well as from the data from the life cycle analysis.
Adding to that, what we know now is that the current medical waste in Malaysia is being handled by Quality Alam, in which the one that they use is, it is actually the initial part of our study as well, that they use microwave method and also the extrusion. So currently they are just being shredded into smaller pieces of waste. And we cannot really say for sure on how many % that is being converted into value-added product for the medical waste.
Could you suggest to us what are some examples of this medical waste, the common ones from our hospitals?
Yes, so based on literature that's been done in Malaysia, it's found that 80% of the medical waste are actually single-use plastic. So for example, your syringe, your disposable gowns, face masks, shower caps. These are 80% of the medical waste right now in hospitals.
Yeah, if I can add it on that, actually, because the waste is already being collected from the healthcare facilities, such as from the hospitals, the clinics, and all that. So we just need to collect from the collection, which normally all the medical waste are being segregated, like from based on the different bins and all that. So they just put like for example, in the yellow bin and some that. So they already put like some kind of like mask, the string, and all that. So we doesn't need to segregate it individually. We just collect from the medical facilities itself.
Thank you. other questions?
Yeah, maybe just one more question. Maybe just now, Hopin, you mentioned using some AI analysis. Can you be a bit more specific? Which AI techniques you're going to use for your optimization?
Right, for this is actually in the IoT sub-project. So I will forward this to Maimuna.
Okay, before we proceed with the MyMedWest apps, which is our mobile applications, we use the artificial intelligence system to optimize some parameters in the vacuum priorities, such as we want to optimize in terms of the reaction time, the temperature, and for this we use artificial neural network for the optimization of the parameters that chosen for the vacuum pyrolysis. Maybe Dian could be explain more about what kind of like parameters that we use in the sub-project 2 for the vacuum pyrolysis, apart from the artificial neural network.
Okay, sure. So the concept of the optimization is that, as Maimuna has mentioned, it uses artificial intelligence. The concept is like design of experiment in which we have reaction time and temperature that we need to optimize. So that is the factors that we add into the optimization, and also what we are looking for is the yield and also the characteristic of the product. So that is how it works based on the optimization. So later, with the amount of waste that comes, and then we know how to adjust the temperature and also how to adjust the time. So that is why we need to integrate with sub-project on the socio-economic study as well.
To add on to that, the sub-project from the social economic studies will also determine the carbon emission due to the life cycle analysis. It will determine the birth to death of the medical waste. So we can actually determine how much carbon is produced, how much waste is produced, and also how much is the cost based on the life cycle cost.
And also I just want to add on about the MyMedWest, which is our apps that we designed for this sub-project based on the sub-project 2 that we get from the optimization of the parameters. So the data accessibility through this app will allow some sort of direct and real-time monitoring diagnosis for the users for the effective and the secure self-transmission also. Based on, such as on the apps, we have like some features such as collections routes, and also in terms of the oil production itself. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Time for 1 or 2 more questions. The other judges, would you have questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Hi, good morning, Team 3. I can see that you have a very well thought out end-to-end how you want to use data all the way to the policy making by the government. So my first question is, you have the app that is for your data collection. Who will be the user to key in this app, and how would you ensure that they will key in the data? Thank you.
All right. For the MyMedWest, actually, first, we want to target 2 potential groups of people. First, the waste management companies, and the second one is the oil investor. Because before we try to targeting the public users, we have to target this kind of people, because we do have some sort of like from the legislative part and also the vacuum pyrolysis. So we want to know what kind of like the stakeholders, the desired needs of the stakeholders first before we proceed with the public users after this. Yeah. Maybe other teammates have justification?
Yes, so to add on to that, of course, initially, the app data will be inputted by us, the sub-project leaders, because it incorporates data from all of our sub-projects. So for example, in sub-project 1, I will have to input the longitudinal study, where what is the medical waste output that is happening in these PPV centers, in these hospitals. I will have to input this so that the pyrolysis center knows what kind of capacity to run. And then apart from that, it will also include feedbacks from the stakeholders because of our focus group discussion. So, and coupled with that, it will be fed into the data. So who will be interested in this app? That will be our future consumers, which is the waste management companies, so they can incorporate this and also use to determine, let's say example, when should I collect from this hospital? When should I collect from this PPV? So this app will determine when to collect, where to collect, as well as how does your project help or make it even more efficient to our current standards. This will serve as a literature or even a report for them to see this is our proof.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all the time we have. Thanks once again for team 3. Excellent presentation, and that's also relevant to us. So hope that you'll be successful in your endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chong Ho Fin, Nurdian Muhammad Rizwan, and Maimuna Muhammad Ali for the insightful presentation. Before we proceed with the next group, we have an exciting video from Vitrox Corporation Berhad.
Because of you, we focus on every little detail, exploring every delicate chapter on the journey. We believe everyone is capable of endless possibilities. Follow the vision in every step. We found excitement. With your blessing, we have unlimited strength, bringing out our best and sustaining it at all times. This is important to us. Our essence is most grounded when we are contributing, all of us, at each and every moment, uniting us to walk the right path. As we aid others, we are learning from the trials of everyday life. It recalls us to value the first thing that actually matters. It is you who have made us different. This is our journey towards greatness.
Okay. Honored guest members of the audience, we will proceed with our fourth group. Group 4 will be presenting their proposal titled Future-Proofing the Diabetes Epidemic, Employing Innovative Methods with Technology and Information Management in Diabetes Care. Group 4 consists of Muhammad Razni Shafiq Razak, Mat Kit K, and Teo Zinyi. The floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever heard about the similar conversation?
Teh tarik satu.
Bos, teh tarik kurang manis satu.
Tak manis, tak sedap lah.
Yes, tak manis tak sedap is the evilest sentence. Do you know that Malaysia shows the highest diabetes rate in Asia? Without us realizing, the prevalence of diabetes among younger individuals aged between 18 and 40 has doubled over the past 15 years. More worrisome, around 2 billion ringgit Malaysia has been spent on diabetes treatment every year. 46,000 diabetic patients underwent amputation due to uncontrolled diabetes. According to our Health Director General, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, the number of diabetic patients has been increasing every year. Also, it was reported that most COVID-19 deaths in Malaysia are linked to diabetes and hypertension. Are we still ignorant of it? In the near future, over 7.5 million more Malaysians are at risk of developing diabetes, forming a sweet nation. In fact, it was estimated that 3.9 million individuals are living with diabetes in Malaysia.
Diabetic patients also suffer from various forms of comorbidities and complications. In other words, besides suffering from the diabetes alone, patients also have to deal with other diseases. The slide here shows the overall statistic of each reported complication, and we can see that the highest prevalence is high blood pressure followed by high cholesterol. The challenges of diabetes at the moment are: the current method of diagnosing type 2 diabetes is painful and involves a blood test that limits screening for the disease. And the management of type 2 diabetes is also complex and challenging due to many factors, including health complications, comorbidities, lifestyle habits, and patient compliance. Altogether, these obstacles prevent the application of a single and direct treatment plan.
With the obstacles discussed, we designed our flagship project with the aim to manage type 2 diabetes in Malaysia. Firstly, we want to introduce an environmentally friendly and non-invasive method for diagnosing diabetes. Instead of painful needle and finger pricks, we want to innovate a prototype device for breath analysis. This requires a green material known as metal organic framework as the solvent. Secondly, it takes a lot of complications and challenges when we want to manage diabetes. Therefore, we want to propose an artificial intelligence model to support healthcare providers to suggest suitable treatment plan and management plan for the patient. And thirdly, for treatment, we want to develop a personalized medicine using 3D and 4D printing technology to prepare individualized capsules based on the patient's requirement.
To overcome the invasive blood-based assay, which limit the screening for the disease, we would like to introduce a volatile organic compounds analysis from a person's breath for the diagnosing of diabetes. However, due to the low concentration of volatile organic compounds in human breath, effective pre-concentration technique before an analytical procedure are required. Therefore, we would like to introduce a calcium-based metal organic framework or MOF as adsorbent due to their high absorption capacity and the possibility of waste material as a starting compound. Did you know the PET plastic bottle consists more than 85% of terephthalic acid and eggshell contain 95% of calcium carbonate? Both of these waste material can be used as metal cluster and organic linker raw material in synthesizing green calcium-based MOF. The MOF will be packed inside the solvent tube and it will collect a wide range of volatile organic compounds from the human breath prior to the analysis by using gas chromatography mass spectroscopy. A new prototype of green and eco-sustainable gas absorption technology and environmentally friendly diagnostic kit will be developed. The prototype will be high sensitivity, painless, and safe for diagnosing diabetes.
Next, the current approaches in managing diabetes require an effort between the clinician and the patient to work together to optimize their treatment plan. The clinicians are also required to fully understand the condition of the patient, and they can refer to a guideline called the Clinical Practice Guidelines, which is quite hefty, which is why we want to propose a solution to this by developing an artificial intelligence model for diabetes management and decision support. To do this, we will use the Malaysia's National Diabetes Registry, which at this point it contains the information of up to 1.6 million diabetic patients in Malaysia. The relevant information, such as those shown in the blue circle, will be collected and used. Machine learning techniques would be applied to learn on these data in order to build our AI predictive tool. What does this AI model do exactly? In the future, clinicians can use this model when they're seeing their patients. All they need to do is key in the information, including information from sub-project 1. And the AI model will be able to suggest a suitable treatment and management plan for that specific patient. Overall, this project aims to develop an artificial intelligence model to support healthcare providers in suggesting suitable treatment and management plan for the diabetic patients.
From the view of the treatment plan, the current practice of one-size-fits-all did not achieve the best outcome in treating diabetes, as the prevalence of comorbidities and complication of diabetes remain high in diabetic patients, as Rasmi has mentioned before. Therefore, we would like to propose the production of anti-diabetic film using three-dimensional or four-dimensional printing technology. So how does printing technology help? 3D or 4D printing technology provides the flexibility in product design in terms of the shape and the inner structure, and most importantly, the medicinal content, utilizing the data acquired from the AI model developed in our sub-project 2, a suitable treatment plan will be identified, and subsequently, we could custom-make our anti-diabetic capsule according to our patient needs.
The total budget required to complete this project has amounted to 740,080 ringgit, and the budget breakdown based on the category is as shown above. To fill the gap that existing in tackling type 2 diabetes, we aim to produce number 1, a non-invasive prototype device by using green calcium-based MOF to absorb volatile organic compounds for diagnosing diabetes. Number 2, an AI model to assist healthcare providers to streamline suitable plans for managing type 2 diabetes. And number 3, a personalized capsule for type 2 diabetes treatment based on the prediction from the AI model.
Now, we know that there are many contributing factors that come hand in hand in order for a nation to progress forward. This includes the academic perspective, the environmental, and the social impact. Therefore, we hope to achieve parallel progress in these areas. For the environment, we are using recyclable materials to build our diagnostic tools, such as eggshells and plastic bottles. As for our society, we hope to put forward new health policies for the diagnosis, treatment, and management for type 2 diabetes. We are also patient-centric. We want to focus on our patients. Therefore, we offer pain-free diagnosis and prepare personalized medication for the diabetic patients based on their requirements.
From the academic perspective, we will fulfill a number of aspects as intellectual properties in the form of patents, copyrights, and trademarks, publication to share our work, dissemination of our findings through conferences, and produce future generation of scientists through human capacity development in the form of PhD students. Overall, we aim to improve the quality of life of diabetic patients in Malaysia through our project.
From Malaysian to Malaysian.
Last but not least, we are from Team 4. We'd like to thank our mentor, Dr. Thagarajan and Ms. Audrey for their advice and support. And thank you for your attention for listening to our project. We are happy to receive your feedback and answer your questions.
Thank you, Team 4. Wonderful presentation. It is a very ambitious project I can think of. I'd like to invite the fellow judges to start asking questions first. Prof. Abi, you want to start first?
Sure, okay. Thanks, Prof. Yeah, great. I mean, I think you rightly point out that, diabetes, because I think today everyone's talking about COVID-19, right? Everyone's forgotten that, many of our ICU settings, many of the comorbidities that when we talk about, that determines COVID-19 recovery rates are all associated with, very poor sugar control. So you guys definitely have identified a very important area to answer. And I like the fact that the whole project is very connected as well. It's got, the identification of a diagnostic biomarker, then understanding the importance in using new technologies, AI to precision medicine. So I've got two questions here that I want to ask. The good thing about connectivity is that it's nice that it all comes together, but the danger of connectivity also means is that if your one piece of domino is not aligned properly, then the whole thing is affected. A lot of your whole model is based on the fact that you're going to identify VOCs that are certainly going to be helped to inform diabetes. And the thing is that my question is, is really, pricking your finger and the blood test or the urine dipstick test, such a big, impediment that actually having a breath analyzer of unknown specificity and sensitivity really the solution for that. The second question is, I think, more in the context of heterogeneity of diabetes. And we know the elements and influence of genetics, and there are thousands of loci that are associated with, genetic predisposition to different types of diabetes. And I know that there was a big German study that tried to clinically phenotype diabetes based on, genomics. And the idea and the thoughts are, and of course I'm biased, that I think, a lot of precision medicine is of course driven by AI, but it's also driven from having robust genetic and genomics information. But I didn't get a sense from your project that this was going to be an element. So maybe could you share with me why not? Or, oh, actually I missed it and you were going to include. So, but I'm super excited. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Prof. Abby, for the question. So I will answer for the number one question. Yes, of course, we have a fingerprint, which what I have here, and also we have a diabetic sensor over here. So compared to these two approaches, which is blood invasive, both of these is actually blood invasive because the sensor we need to put in our skin. Okay, both of these is blood invasive, but I want to introduce is the non-invasive technique, which is using the breath analyzer. Of course, currently for COVID-19 treatment also, the Malaysian people are already familiar with the saliva test, for example, and then that's mean everyone in Malaysia can do it, including the breath analyzer technique. So we can change from this conventional into the new one, which is a breath analyzer. So regarding the sensitivity of the breath analyzer, from the previous study, literature study, the sensitivity is about 85%. So you can detect whether you have the diabetes or not. So that's why in this current study, we also want to do the baseline study according to the GCMS instrument. So the baseline study is so important to determine whether we have the accurate data for whether we have the diabetes or not. So that is my answer.
To answer your second question, Prof. Abi, from my side, regarding the phenotyping or the heterogeneity that you have mentioned before. So actually, in the current ongoing collaboration between HUKM and UK side, the University of Dundee, this group, they has recently established to develop the precision medicine to manage diabetes, and is associated particularly on the cardiovascular complication in a Malaysia population. So this thing is funded by the UK Research Innovative Grant. So from this search, I was realized that the grant is going to end of this year. So hopefully the SIG project says that they are focusing on the genotyping study to identify the best diabetes treatment plan. So we are hoping for the collaboration opportunity with this group, and the data acquired that they have, it could be integrated together with the database that we are going to obtain from the Malaysian National Diabetes Registry to improve our AI prediction in our sub-project 2, and subsequently to tailor our individualized capsule in our sub-project 3. Hope this answers your question.
Yeah, I would also like to add on the genomics information. Yes, it is very true that we require genomics information for precision medicine, which is why when we're looking at the current database in the National Diabetes Registry, this is a retrospective approach where we're looking at the current data that we have in order to build our model. By doing so, we can have two results, which is it either works or it gives us an idea on, oh, we need to collect more information on genomics in order to improve our AI model for the prediction in the future. So we would have to work with the Ministry of Health to implement such a thing like that in the collection of data.
Other judges? I may want to add, in one slide, you put like number 1 is the VOC, number 2 is the AI, and then in terms of management. Do you think that this is oversimplified because you missed out the role of the clinicians? You still need the clinicians there. And also, as Prof. Abi mentioned, the lab test, the glucose, urine. So these are the important. Would it be, what do you think the VOC as a complementary technique? I'd like to hear your comments on this.
Okay, thank you, Prof, for the question. Yes, so currently this is like a preliminary study for sure. We are using the Soben tube as a breath analyzer to diagnose the diabetes. So we also need the GCMS instrument also. So for example, this kind of approaches is quite accurate because we use the high-end instrument, for example, GCMS, to do the volatile organic compounds analysis. So for ensure our result or the profile data will be very sensitive and very accurate. So of course, if you want to add using also the sensor and also the fingerprint, you can do that as a validation for the preliminary study. But I'm for sure for the future, we can use this product as a future diagnostic kit for in the future. Yes.
To add on, Prof, we are really not putting the clinicians aside. Actually, the clinical practice guideline, there are so many information, it could be overwhelming. You have to look at the patient's condition, and based on that, we need to look at drug-drug interaction possibility and all that to decide a suitable treatment plan for that patient. So what we're doing is just simplifying all that algorithms into a model that can just help the clinician to suggest something that works for the patient. So the clinicians are still play an important role in the healthcare system.
Okay, thank you.
Prof. Ng, I would like to top up if you want, if I'm given the chance.
Go ahead.
On the perspective of the personalization of the medicine. So because based on our current regulation, the medicine dispensing is based on the medical doctors and also the pharmacists. So definitely for the individualization, we won't be putting the health clinicians aside. Yeah.
Thank you. One last short question.
Sure. In the context of precision medicine, how many precise phenotypes are you going to expect to be able to create or characterize using your AI technology?
Thanks, Prof. Avi, for the question. At this moment, from the current database that we have, we're looking at 40 data points. All the categories contains the patient's information, their gender, ethnicity, and all that. And then we also look at the biochemical parameters, their urine test and cholesterol, etc. And we also have their lifestyle habits, whether they're an active person, they're not an active person, and their overall health, like their BMI, waist circumference, all that comes into play.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all the time we have. All the judges and the team for the excellent presentation, and all the best to your project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, all the judges.
Thank you.
Thank you, Group 4, for your presentation on technology and information management in diabetes care. Honored guests, members of the audience, we would like to invite our fifth and final group, presenting their proposal titled Cholesterol-Lowering Properties of CPC Nanocapsules. We would like to present to you Ku Kwan Xiong, Sim Yan Yi, and Nurvaizura Muhammad. The floor is yours.
Listen and listen to the rhythm of our heart beating 24/7. Just imagine if it stopped beating. Ladies, gentlemen, and future young researchers, Good morning. What our research group is going to present today is a simple solution and the only future supplement that is going to remove high oil content, or we call it cholesterol, in the arteries of our bodies. How are we going to do it? Simple as extracting one of the biocomponents from spirulina microalgae, namely C-factorcyanin. Then, along with the nano-encapsulation technology to encapsulate CPC for an effective and efficient drug delivery system as a hypocholesteremic agent. But then, the question here is, why are we doing all this? Based on a survey, 3.8 in 10 of Malaysians are having high cholesterol issue. The current Malaysian population stands at 32 million. That's about 12 million people aged 18 years and above are having high content of cholesterol in the bloodstream. As it gets more serious, it would cause high blood pressure and eventually lead to coronary heart disease. So, what common human does is to rely on medication via synthetic drug known as statin. However, this is not a sustainable solution towards a long-term treatment, as this synthetic drug may cause adverse side effects such as hepatic, kidney failure, and muscle impairment. With that said, I will pass the floor to Yan Yi and go eat my nasi lemak now.
Bos, nasi lemak satu.
Apa nasi lemak ni? Your turn to explain lah, Yan Yi.
Okay, sorry. Back to the presentation, yeah? While the majority of people could experience only mild symptoms with COVID-19, it can have serious effect on others who deal with underlying health condition every day. In Malaysia, 83% of COVID-19 deaths reported to have at least one underlying health condition, with 19% of them having high cholesterol. Eradicating this virus right now from the world is unrealistic. The future will not just depend on vaccination, but also rely on reducing number of people having health condition, which in turn could minimize the risk of getting severe illness from COVID-19 or the next global pandemic.
Okay, you can go makan nasi lemak now. Okay, where am I again? So, the use of natural derived dietary supplement with a safer dose and side effect in supporting the blood cholesterol reduction is needed. So here we come with our solution. C-factorcyanin derived from microalgae has shown potential as a hypoglycemic agent. Progress animal studies demonstrated that the treatment of CPC in hyperglycemic models significantly reduced the LDL level after treatment. Despite this, there are some issues that arise when using the CPC as a hypoglycemic agent. First, the microalgae cultivation cost of CPC is high due to multiple processors. Second, CPC is a water-soluble with a low variability and stability. And lastly, poorly understood and lack of evidence of CPC mechanism in supporting its lowering cholesterol properties might be one of the difficulties to commercialize the CPC as a hypoglycemic agent. Jerry, you nak tambah nasi lemak lagi tak?
Apa nasi lemak? Sekarang microalgae lah. So what's so special about microalgae is their capabilities as biomass feedstock for the future algae-based bioproduct. Here we are introducing sub-project 1 that aligns with the 21st century of research, which is the development of Internet of Things for continuous cultivation and extraction system of CPC from spirulina microalgae. The solution we are proposing for our sub-project is simple as combining two terms, which is the Internet of Things and machine learning to automate the overall cultivation and extraction system. The objective of this project is to provide a low-cost biorefinery of microalgae in which the sensors will program for real-time monitoring, controlling, and predicting the condition of the automated system. This IoT-based system will deliver a maximum biomass and CPC productivity. With the high quality and purified CPC obtained from this system, it will be further subjected into nano-encapsulation technology in sub-project 2. Yani, sudah habis makan nasi lemak tak? Your turn lah.
Sudah, bos. New research had claimed that CPC had high antioxidant properties in promoting health. However, their use is often limited by poor stability and low bioavailability. So what we can do to solve this problem? Here we are introducing nano-encapsulation technology in colloidal system for an effective and efficient approach. Therefore, in our sub-project 2, we are integrating an ultrasonic assisted aqueous cold shell nano capsule for hydrophilic CPC. The solution that our group proposed in sub-project 2 is the implementation of ultrasound-induced nano-emulsion polymerization method, a promising technology for hydrophilic compound encapsulation. So how does this work? Simple as utilizing the ultrasound to modify the functional properties of biopolymer. in which the biopolymer will contribute to a greener and sustainable point of view, where it will demonstrate good biocompatibility, biodegradability, and non-toxicity towards humans and environment. As shown in this picture, we only combining two types of biopolymer, which is polysaccharides and protein, to fabricate a cross-linked cell to encapsulate the CPC, followed by direct deposition of an additional PIC shell layer for improved stability. Hey, V, you mau makan nasi lemak tak?
Ayo, tak habis lagi ke nasi lemak? Nak usaha mekanism lah. Okay, so for sub-project 3, we will be uncovering the mechanism of CPC in hypercholesterolemia through lipidemic and network pharmacology. It might sound very complicated, right? But in layman terms, it's as simple as we are using the CPC to reduce the cholesterol level in the blood. So what is our solution? We will evaluate the mechanism of CPC and its effects in the hypercholesterolemia condition. First, we will use the little mice, not the little jelly mouse, to determine the effect of CPC in hypercholesterolemia model. Then, the serum from the little mice will be used in the lipidomic study to determine the lipid biomarkers that involved in the CPC mechanism. After that, the information they obtain from the lipidomic study will be subjected to the network construction in order to relate and identify the key protein involved between the CPC and hypercholesterolemia condition. To confirm and validate the outcome of key involved in the CPC mechanism, we will then proceed with the in vitro study. And lastly, we will conduct a clinical study to evaluate the hypercholesterolemia effect of CPC nanocapsule to ensure it is safe to be commercialized. Okay, no more nasi lemak punya story.
Okay, no more nasi lemak punya story. To sum up the overall research outcome of the project, the research deliveries will secure 3 PhD students and each of them will produce at least 6 papers in the Q1 and Q2 ISI index journals. In fact, the integrated IoT-based system and the formulation of aqueous core shell nanocapsule technology will be filed as intellectual property. With the final product produced, we will expand our collaboration with various pharmaceutical industry into marketing our product. As for data sharing and management then, each of the sub-projects will be categorized into 3 phases, where phase 1 focuses on the cultivation and extraction, phase 2 focuses on the formulation and nano-encapsulation, and phase 3 verify and finalize the product efficiency and effectiveness as a hypocholesteric agent. Well, as for budgeting breakdown of the project, each of the funding for the respective sub-project will allocated based on salary, traveling, transport, research consumable, equipment, and professional services. For more detail for the budgeting breakdown, kindly refer to our research concept paper.
For the production capacity, from about 12.4 million of Malaysians with high cholesterol, our group targeted 20% of them as CPC supplement user. We targeted CPC production is 68.0 tons for the first year, with an increasing sales targets over the year. Well, for the profit of this CPC, based on the target number of CPC consumption and our group target profit of 20%, this project will have an internal rate of return of 43%, compound annual growth rate of 28%, and payback periods of 2.5 years, with the price as low as 0.002 ringgit Malaysia per milligram.
As a summary, a synthetic drug will cause the adverse side effect. Hence, the demand of natural derivatory supplement is needed in reducing the blood cholesterol. Therefore, the implementation of IoT for continuous cultivation and extraction of CPC from microalgae will reduce the cost and enhance the overall production. In fact, the CPC nanocapsule formulation will enhance the stability and durability toward the human and environment. Last but not least, the confirmation and validation of the CPC mechanism in demonstrating its blood cholesterol lowering properties will help billions Malaysians with a high blood cholesterol level. Our project will in line with the slogan, working together for a healthier Malaysia. The impact statement from all 3 sub-projects are contribute to the reduction 50% of Malaysians with prevalence of dyslipidemia by 2025, the low cost of CPC production with the smart IoT automated extraction and cultivation system. This project also comply with the 1010 My STIE for medical and healthcare of IoT-based agriculture system and nanotechnology. In addition, we believe that this project will be fulfilled with the SDG 3 in ensuring healthy life and promoting the well-being for all ages. Nasi lemak rendang ayam, no problem when you have our CPC. So don't forget to grab your CPC nanocapsule with us today. It's better to protect rather than regret. With the motto, prevention is better than cure, we will end our presentation with thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Team 5, for this wonderful presentation. It reminds us, you keep mentioning nasi lemak, lunchtime coming. Thank you. And also very relevant issue that most of us are confronted with, including myself. So hopefully this will be a better solution. So I'd like to invite the fellow judges to ask questions.
Okay, I'll go for
Abi.
Sure.
Abi will always have 2 questions.
Well, I might only have one now, since anyway. So I thought again, brilliant presentation. I really like the way how the project's interconnected and you had multiple different areas, right? But again, I think my concern is, when you talk about research and one of the things that you are promising return of value or return of investment in the next few years. But when you talk about your research, you're still in the in vivo part of your experiments. So I just want to know what kind of proof of concept do you actually have that you're basing all of these trust in it? And the second thing is that I still didn't quite get what are the problem statement that you are actually addressing with the current available range of anti-hyperlipidemia agents. Yeah. Thanks. I didn't disappoint you. I gave you 2 questions, so you can ruminate. Yeah.
Can I answer for the second question? Okay. Thank you, Prof. Abi, for the question. Okay, basically because currently the people who are having the hypercholesterolemia, they will giving the statin as a treatment. However, when you're taking the statins, you need to take the statin seems like for a long term and also for the long life, because when they are stopping taking the statin, the cholesterol level will be returned back to the high level within a few weeks. So what we are trying to approach, and also when you're taking it for too long, it will give the side effects. So this is our main concern, that we give the side effect for taking for too long of a drug. So what I was trying to do is that we want to find a natural product, especially from a microalgae with a high antioxidant properties, to reduce the side effect. And also, if you're taking it's a supplement, it also might not need to take it for a long term so it's in terms of that, we will saving more money investing to taking the blood, taking the drugs until we are aging, until something like that lah.
Yeah, then regarding Prof. Abi first question, right? You're asking us about what does those value for investment stand for? Actually, all these are crude value that based on production cost, and the value that our group show indicate this project has high internal rate of return. And
sorry, Sim. I wasn't actually asking that. My question was because your work is still preclinical work.
Yeah.
What is it that you have found that you're so confident that this is worthwhile investing, that we are quite sure that we will get the return of investment?
Actually, for this point, right, just like the statistic that we show, actually Malaysian having the problem of high cholesterol, there is many target population. And aside, it's not just in Malaysia, this product could be targeted internationally. And nowadays, people are more concerned about their health, as our health is our responsibility. So we believe that this project will have potential to be marketed, as there is always demand for people want to reduce their blood cholesterol before they're getting diagnosed as a patient with hypertension and need to take the statin drug to control their blood pressure, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Maybe I just ask some questions. If you go into this product line, you'll be probably entering a market of very crowded health food or health supplement market. I think the logic of this industry is very much on the marketing, advertising. Even if you really truly analyze a bottle of spirulina or whatever health food, the cost of the food itself is probably like 5%. 95% of it is actually all other costs. So the cost of producing that product as comparison to the selling price is probably very, very negligible. So the argument of producing a product in a lower cost probably won't help you to be successful in the market. And I think if you reflect upon the health problem, mainly it's because people eating food that they are not supposed to eat, not because of they are not taking food that they're supposed to eat. Yeah, so there's a much bigger cultural problem there. So what's your thought on this?
Maybe in terms of the cost, first of all, I would like to highlight that the costs are based on the cost of production, based on all assumption only. Okay, the few things that our group took into consideration when calculating the cost, we take in like initial budget given in the R&D stage, which is the 250K given for each of the sub project. However, we did not consider like the cost of marketing, the cost of registration fee. We did not cost to how to we commercialize the product on the rental fee. So that is like beyond the marketing team. So our team will be focused more on the R&D.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? As Prof. Abi mentioned, you are still at the preclinical stage, right? There are quite a long way to go. Do you have any idea what kind of procedures, path that you will take until it become commercialized? Do you manage to find out from those who have done it before?
Okay. Actually, yeah, we are still in the preclinical study, but we at the end of our study that we are moved to the clinical, which is the first one into trial. However, due to the limitation of the financial and also the time given, we still have a lot of like phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4 to be done, so that to ensure that our CPCs health supplement will have the efficacy and safety and also toxicity to the human who are having the hypercholesterol. So I think we still lack in terms of that. We are still have a limitation in terms of tested in the public in the human subject.
Yes.
We address that.
Unless if any companies out there is going to invest in our project, yes, maybe we can try it out.
Okay. And earlier you mentioned about 6 papers in Q1. Is it per sub project?
Actually, for that paper, it's only part for the PhD requirement for the student to graduate itself. It's only part for the project. However, we did not look into like in terms of commercialization. That will be another sector. Another people will be coming into taking the project from the PhD students.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I'll ask another question then. Why do you think your paper publications is of concern to an investor like me?
Regarding this one, actually, this is part of the requirement as when we write this one as a research proposal for academic. So that one is for the academic part to see. Then the calculation of like internal rate of return is for the industrial part to see. Yeah. I think the paper can also serve as like proof that our product quality, if we publish in like tier 1 journal, we can prove that we really do it, that these things really works in reducing the blood cholesterol. Yeah.
Great.
Prof. Abby, do you have another fourth question? just kidding.
Well, I mean, how maybe the problem statement is how can we get nasi lemak that's anti, or low cholesterol nasi lemak? I mean, that might be a good problem statement to address.
That is our selling point, because nasi lemak is one of the Malaysia food that you can find everywhere, every state of Malaysia. That's why we highlight nasi lemak satu, boss. Thank you so much, judges.
Yeah, okay. With that, thanks very much, judges and Team 5 for this excellent presentation. You're going to save lots of lives. It has become a reality in the future. Hope to see that one day. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Group 5, and thank you, judges. Thank you, Group 5, for the interesting presentation. And with that, we've concluded all the presentations from the 5 groups of our 2021 Chrysalis Award Grand Final pitch. Our last video for the day is brought to you by the Academy of Sciences Malaysia. So honored guests and ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy.
Science plays a vital role for economic development and societal well-being. Understanding this, the Academy of Sciences Malaysia was established with a mission to be Malaysia's thought leader in all areas of science, technology, and innovation. To realize its mission, ASM harnesses the nation's top scientific minds to chart the STI direction and facilitates the implementation of an innovation-led economy for the country. ASM's commitment lies firmly in fostering a culture of excellence in STI in Malaysia. ASM does this by providing independent, credible, relevant, and timely STI input of national and international importance to the country. Our network of expertise comprises Malaysian scientists, engineers, and technologists who specialize in various disciplines. The Academy assists in upgrading the nation's technological capabilities in the industrial sectors by producing high-quality publications such as peer-reviewed journals, monographs, and books. In addition, ASM also provides input on current and future technology trends to be considered and taken up by the government in driving the nation's economy forward. To provide Malaysian scientists with the best opportunities and exposure, ASM actively extends its international networks and collaborations. It currently has a range of multilateral engagements with renowned scientific institutions worldwide. The Academy also champions the need to grow the right talent in STI by cultivating interests in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to the younger generation. In short, the Academy's ethos is proudly defined as Think Science, Celebrate Technology, Inspire Innovation.
Honored guests and members of the audience, we will give our judges time to calculate and finalize their scores. We will be taking a 15-minute break before we resume with our program. We'll be right back.
what have we accomplished as a nation? Do we have what it takes to face the future? How has the economy changed in the past 30 years? Will investment in technology really transform Malaysia into an SDI-driven economy? How has SDI in basic utilities, health and education brought societal change? Will scientific and technological contribution promise a continuous societal progress? How has been Malaysia's progress in safeguarding environmental sustainability? Will we have a model to better sustain our natural assets as a developed nation?
Art is an expression of emotion, beauty, application of imagination, and human skills. It is abstract and based on creativity and subjectivity. And science is the knowledge and process to understand the physical world. It is concrete and logical. It's based on facts with structure and methods. In recognition of the amalgamation of art and science, the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, ASM, has formed the Art Science Initiative.
Science plays a vital role for economic development and societal well-being. Understanding this, The Academy of Sciences Malaysia was established with a mission to be Malaysia's thought leader in all areas of science, technology, and innovation. To realize its mission, ASM harnesses the nation's top scientific minds to chart the STI direction and facilitates the implementation of an innovation-led economy for the country. ASM's commitment lies firmly in fostering a culture of excellence in STI in Malaysia. ASM does this by providing independent, credible, relevant, and timely STI input of national and international importance to the country. Our network of expertise comprises Malaysian scientists, engineers, and technologists who specialize in various disciplines. The Academy assists in upgrading the nation's technological capabilities in the industrial sectors by producing high-quality publications such as peer-reviewed journals, monographs, and books. In addition, ASM also provides input on current and future technology trends to be considered and taken up by the government in driving the nation's economy forward. To provide Malaysian scientists with the best opportunities and exposure, ASM actively extends its international networks and collaborations. It currently has a range of multilateral engagements with renowned scientific institutions worldwide. The Academy also champions the need to grow the right talent in STI by cultivating interests in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to the younger generation. In short, the Academy's ethos is proudly defined as Think Science, Celebrate Technology, Inspire Innovation.
Honored guests and members of the audience, welcome back. The scores from our esteemed panel of judges have been finalized. Let us invite Professor Dr. Ng Kwan Hung, the Chief Judge of the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award Grand Final Pitch, to share his overall feedback and some insights from our judges panel on our finalists' performances today.
Thank you. Good afternoon. On behalf of my fellow judges, I'd like to congratulate all the team members for having done an excellent job in the presentation, in the preparation. It took us quite a while to deliberate on the results and offering comments. We all agree that this is of very high quality, high standard in terms of the content, objective delivery, the presentation as well. And all are relevant to our life, to the SDG. And what was noted is the adoption of the IoT, the IR 4.0, which we know is part of our life today. And we also recognize to solve many of those complex issues as about the waste, about our various diseases, you need interdisciplinary collaboration. And the projects have beautifully demonstrated that. And we all really congratulate for all of you. We noticed you have spent a lot of time in preparation, in practicing, in the presentation. So you see all the talents within you. And we hope that you continue to cultivate that talent. That brings to mind of this chrysalis. And we all know it is the pupa of the butterfly. You will remember it started with a little caterpillar, quite ugly, crawling, is hoping going to go up, and then land up in a cocoon there for a couple of months, like long sleep, and later struggling to come up. But notice the word chrysalis comes from the Greek Christos, is gold. So notice the cocoon is golden color of the butterfly, different from some other insects who also undergoing this sort of metamorphosis. What I want to point out, it is that all of you are going through this phase where you're undergoing a personal development, the growth. Painful as it may, it takes many years, some longer than the others, but eventually it will mature as a beautiful butterfly, and with different colors. Some are more brilliant, some a bit ordinary. And nonetheless, it is you who comes of age. We shouldn't compare with others, why my wings have more color than others. But this is how the Mother Nature have groomed us. So it is, we all come up to be a better version of ourselves. So you think of this process, the chrysalis, metaphorically speaking, it is a process of growth for your scientific integrity, your curiosity, and also how you want to bring science to benefit humankind. And it is hope that you remember this purpose, right? The growth, the struggle for you to get out from the cocoon, eventually to be well rewarded. So on behalf of the panel of judges, I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we do hope that all those projects will be materialized and benefit the human society. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Ng Kwan Hung. Honored guests and members of the audience, let us welcome Yang Berbahagia Professor Datuk Dr. Asma Ismail, the President of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, to deliver her speech.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very good afternoon. Thank you very much, Haikal. Yang berusaha Professor Puan Hazami Habib, the CEO of Academy of Sciences Malaysia, Dr. Chai Lei Ching, the Chairperson of Young Scientists Network, ASM, our strategic partners, Merck, Sendirian Berhad, Clinical Research Malaysia, and Vitrox Corporation, senior fellows and fellows of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, and members of the YSN-ASM, all judges and finalists of the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, media representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, I'm pleased to welcome everyone present today to the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award final pitch organized by the Academy of Sciences and Young Scientists Network, ASM. So first and foremost, my heartfelt congratulations to all of the 15 young scientists that were selected to be the finalists of the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. I mean, you guys did great today, and to my eyes, you are all winners, right? And I also would like to thank the YSN-ASM team, especially the Science Leadership Working Group, for organizing this flagship program along with the ASM management. Our gratitude also to the judges for spending your valuable time to actually listen to the finalists and doing a very difficult job, I'm sure, of finding the winners. And thank you also for your probing questions that I'm sure will be very useful guide to our young scientists in the future. Let me also take this opportunity to thank our strategic partners, Vitrox Corporation Berhad, for the contributions as the judge and for also sponsoring the industrial placement since last year. To Merck, Sendirian Berhad, and Clinical Research Malaysia for sponsoring the prizes to the winners. Their contributions essentially have made this Chrysalis Award become even more successful. And I hope that this partnership will continue for many more years to come to benefit the research landscape in Malaysia. Now, the YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award is specifically designed to strengthen and nurture the talent and capability of the young researchers so that future researchers can be empowered in alignment with the science, technology, innovation development trajectory of Malaysia. And this is important to reinforce relevant transferable skills in innovation and increase the researchers' capacity and capability to actually become outstanding local scientists. And this in turn would reduce the country's dependence on foreign expertise and innovations in the near future. Now, ASM as a thought leader, we are committed to pursuing the excellence in the field of science, engineering, and technology. And scientists and researchers are supported and developed through various types of mentoring and development programs, by workshops, by conferences, by ASM, via collaborative platforms with the relevant institution. And this basically has benefited not only the established researchers, but also the young researchers with high potential who are about to now embark upon their future career development. And based on the analysis in ASM Science Outlook 2020 report, researchers in Malaysia are highly concentrated in the universities compared that to the industry. So in 2018, the percentage of researchers in the university was at a whopping 79.9%, almost 80% of all the researchers in the country are all in the university compared to the industry, which is only having 15.8%. And of course, at the government is even lower at 4.14%. But if you do this, we cannot go on to this trajectory, because if you compare that to South Korea, you will see at 80% of their researchers in 2018 are actually in the industry sector and not in the universities. And this is because the researchers in the universities are actually trained to do more fundamental rather than innovation. So this has now become the reason why we are still behind in terms of innovation, but countries like South Korea are very much advanced into an innovation-led high-income nation. So in relation to this, for sure, we understand we need to change the current landscape of the researchers and research in Malaysia. And we also need to bridge this innovation chasm that exists between academia and industry. And we need to connect in order to be able to enhance productivity by the nation. But we also need a new breed of future researchers that understand this innovation chasm, that will now undergo collaboration, undergo engagement with the quadruple helix, and actually now undergo networking and have no qualms about working together between IPTA, IPTS, and also with the international and with the industry. So this is the kind of new breed that I think this program, Chrysalis, is now embarking upon, and I think it's going to be a very successful one based on the presentations today. So therefore, this program, to me, and other science-based awards should be promoted and expanded to attract participation of various students from primary to tertiary levels, as well as partnership with the industries, right? Because you have to change this mindset from young, not just at the university level. So it's important to ensure that research output can be translated to innovations that can benefit the local community as well as humanity. Now, the YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award is about building talent and skills of our young scientists, and it's specifically organized for the final year Malaysian PhD students aged 35 years and below. And the participating young scientists, as you can see today, are chosen based on their involvement in potentially high impact research. And they must be highly motivated, and they aspire to contribute meaningfully to the socio-economic development of the country and well-being of society. So this is the kind of selection that is being done because of the training that's going to be done to these people. So throughout the program, these budding research talents were actually trained for the information of the judges and those listening. They were trained via workshops, by group discussions on developing these excellent research proposals that we hear today, and of course the training in the speech and how they're going to make a successful pitch of the invention that they had done. And they were also assessed on their demonstration of knowledge, on their enthusiasm, their leadership capacity and capability, the creativity, the teamwork, and presentation skills, among others, that is being judged today. So I believe that all the tertiary level students who have joined this session stand to gain skills on clear communication of scientific knowledge from this pitching session. And in the spirit of nurturing our talent, the selected finalists will receive continuous support and mentoring for the next 5 years from the YSN-ASM members. I mean, this is a very strong, dedicated commitment I don't think you can find anywhere else in Malaysia, at least, for a group of people to actually say and commit 5 years, all right, of support and mentoring to the various batches of the Chrysalis Award finalists. So I hope that they can, all of you can be further groomed to be outstanding researchers for Malaysia. So we want to see researchers evolve, not just in academic exercises, but beyond academia, so that you can now become a change maker, you can be a nation builder. That's what we want. So one of the 2020 finalists of the Chrysalis Award, just to let you guys know, Dr. Tan Leven, who has now embarked his career and as a researcher at Vitrox Corporation Berhad. And of course, Vitrox is special to me because this is all set up by the USM alumni. And I'm very proud of that, being the previous Vice Chancellor of USM. So I've always used Vitrox as a shining example of a successful USM alumni that have managed to now bring this company to the next generation. I'm very glad to see that they are now getting more and more people to now join Vitrox as well. So, and I hope that Dr. Tan will be a fine example of applying his knowledge in industry to translate knowledge to impactful outcomes. And it's also heartening that to hear that another Chrysalis Award participant, Dr. Wan Arif Aziz Jaafar, and another award participant, Dr. Lam Jia Yong, have been selected to actually participate in the Global Young Scientist Summit of 2022. So I think this is a good start for these young researchers to actually be able to create impact via their research. So ladies and gentlemen, this year the theme of the award is Take Flight, Synergizing S&T with Socio-Economic Drivers. And this is in line with the current needs of our nation to align science, technology, innovation with the economy, or STIE. For those of you who are not aware, 1010 My STIE has now become the game changer, is now recognized in RMK 12 as a game changer to move the research, development, commercialization, innovation, and economic landscape for the country. So I guess when you are trained to now be able to align your proposals with the 1010 My STIE is a good training that you had. So this theme also reflects the urgency to spur the country's research, development, commercialization, and innovation activities in a manner closely linked to the economy for Malaysia to achieve the aspiration to become a high-tech nation by 2030. The young researchers must see that what they do is not about performing just research, not just about generating knowledge, not just about disseminating knowledge, not just performing the research, but to also translate this knowledge into impactful innovations and make a difference by solving society's problems. So ASM is actually committed to make STI the foundation to strengthen both the economic development and societal well-being of our nation. And therefore, the theme chosen has indeed complemented the framework of the 1010 My STIE, which emphasizes on the 10 interplays of global S&T drivers with the 10 socio-economic drivers. So in order to become a high-tech nation by 2030, Malaysia has to shift from becoming a technology user to a technology producer. And this requires high caliber STI talent as reflected in the targets of the Rancangan Malaysia ke-12 or RMK-12 to have at least 130 researchers per 10,000 labor force by 2025. So in order to create impact, all of the researchers in Malaysia should develop and carry out their research based on the 30 national STI niche areas under each of the 10 socio-economic drivers of the nation. So we need a new way of thinking to be impact oriented and for value creation, not just ROI, ladies and gentlemen, also for ROV. So we also need to move forward in the sense of urgency, right? As such, and I hope this award will inculcate the elements in the psyche of the researchers. So I know Professor Ng has given the input from the judges, but let me now keep this prepared speech aside and go off the cuff and actually state my observations today. I mean, I've spent the whole morning listening from 10 to now 1 p.m. And I've been doing this for the last 2 years. So I can safely say I can compare what is happening previously and what is happening today. First of all, my knee-jerk reaction is to say, wow, you know, this is a definitely a different level of project presentation that you guys have done today, and compared to last year, because last year was just beginning, and then now this is a different level. So to me, I must congratulate the mentors actually for doing a great job to now train and nurture these young scientists to become the new breed. And I can see that in all the problems that you try to solve, you address the urgent human-centric problems. So I think that's very important, that, you know, you keep in mind that when you're providing solution, make sure this is urgent, this is very relevant, as what Prof. is saying, must be relevant. Sometimes you get carried away and do research for the sake of research, but at the same time, whatever you're trying to solve has got to be human-centric, number one, has got to be relevant, another. And I'm so glad, you know, as a woman, I'm very glad to see so many female faces in this particular finalist. I know Professor Abi don't make any comment, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is this is fantastic to see more women now coming in as the finalists, right? And I see au natural, the way you now understand that when you want to now provide solution, before if you were at your own universities, you are doing this on your own. You read the journals, and then you create your own problem statement, and then you create your own solution and create your own objective. But it is very important, ladies and gentlemen, those the younger generation, to now understand that if you now want to provide relevant solution, you have to engage. You have to engage with the quadruple helix. You have to know what is it that the society wants. You have to know what academia needs. You have to know what government is all about on this particular problem. And you have to understand what is it that industry wants. And of course, now with the quintuple helix, you also need to know whether the solution that you are providing is also in line with planetary health. Yeah. So, and I think this is the new breed, because the current academia today is quite hesitant to want to be engaging. It's very much academic, and we don't go beyond academia. So I hope this new breed of young scientists for the future is par excellence in bringing together people and coming together and actually working together, both with the various universities, public or private, and also with the strategic international partners, right? And I see that you are technology savvy. By being guided by the 10-10 makes you now technology savvy, makes you now produce innovation that will now be useful as we go on now and be competitive. That innovation should now be competitive in the world market, because the world is already spinning on IR 4.0 technologies. So we also need to catch up with that. And I see that whatever your presentation, project 1, project 2, project 3, they are all connected. And I see that you jive very well as a team. And this is to me, very important, that you don't stop here. This teamwork that you have, 3 of you, whatever, to continue this. And if the idea is very good, let's go for startups, right? Let's try and make you to be a job creator and not just a job seeker, right? And one thing you notice, when you are providing the solution, you're no longer talking like a naive postgraduate student. You understand what the ecosystem is all about. That to me is very important, that whoever is a mentor will also make sure you understand the ecosystem. You understand what government is involved, you understand which ministry is involved, you understand which agency, which NGO, whatever that is involved. That is, and when you engage with your focus group, you will now find out more and more about the solution that you're providing, whether it's making sense or whether this is something that university or industry wants or not. So I think that is very important, that you are no longer naive, you understand now the ecosystem around you. And also when the judges were giving their comments, right, you also understand that you need some parts of your work is still in infancy, and that you need future work and future collaborations to go ahead. And I also would like to suggest to Dr. Chai to actually bring in angel investors to also listen to see whether they can now say, okay, come on down for another appointment, because as you know, the judges, after listening to you for 10 minutes, how can they make some, there will probably be more questions that need to address. And therefore bring in, because ASM is also working together with the angels, and I think MBAN is another one, Malaysian Business Angel Network, probably we can now bring them in as well. And I see that you are very good at answering the questions. You don't hesitate to the questions that is being asked by the judges. You don't hesitate. That means you are prepared. So that to me is very important, because you know sometimes you see postgraduate blinking and they have their eyeballs looking at you and nothing is coming out from the mouth. But today, whatever the judges bring it on, you just say, okay, this is how you are going to now answer, and you answer like a team answering, and you have the confidence. I think that's very important for Magic or even for other industry listening in. Confidence from our future generation. I think you can present this in front of the venture caps probably better than your lecturers in the future. So basically that's what I have to say. You have learned networking, you have learned collaboration, and this is the change of mindset that we want. You have learned the impact of engagement, and I hope that you continue with this mindset change for all your work in the future, regardless whether you are an entrepreneur or not an entrepreneur, or whether you now join the university. Make that change when you join the university. So in conclusion, I would like to thank the YSN, ASM and ASM management once again for organizing the activities related to the Chrysalis Award. I would also like to express my warmest congratulations to all the winners of the 2021 Chrysalis Award. And I hope that this can be an invaluable experience that is a mind keeper, and that you will cherish this in the development of your career. So may this award inspire each of you to actually continue pushing the boundaries of research and innovation in order to create impact. So think beyond academia, and hope you can do a very good job of thinking science, celebrate technology, and inspire innovation. So with that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And thank you. Back to the MC.
Thank you, Dr. Asma, for your speech. Honored guests, members of the audience, we have now reached the highlight of today's program, the results of the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. Before we proceed with our 6 awards that we have lined up for today, we would like to inform that the recipient of the Special Industrial Placement sponsored by Vitrox Corporation, Vitrox Corporation Berhad, will be selected among the finalists in the field of 4IR related technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 6 awards lined up. We would like to invite all our finalists and participants in our Zoom to turn on their cameras throughout the award ceremony. Our first award is the Best Team Award, evaluated on the team's overall pitch. The best team will receive a cash award of 3,000 ringgit and a certificate of achievement for each member. Honored guests, members of the audience, the Best Team Award goes to Team 2, consisting of Muhammad Amirullah, Teo Aini, and Tan Yudian. Our next award is the Special Chrysalis Poster Award that was evaluated based on the voting by the YSN-ASM members and affiliates, as well as the Facebook likes at our YSN-ASM page for the past few days. The recipient of the award will receive a cash award of 1,500 ringgit and a certificate of achievement for each member. The special Chrysalis Poster Award goes to, once again, Team 2, which consists of Muhammad Amirullah, Teo Aini, and Tan Yudian. We will now proceed with the Best Presenter Award. This award is based on the individual performance from today's proposal pitching. The recipient of the award will receive 1,000 ringgit and a certificate of achievement. The Best Presenter Award goes to Teo Aini from UCSI University. We have now reached our top 3 awards for today. Aside from our top 3 winners, consolation prizes of 450 ringgit will be given to our 12 finalists. And now let's proceed to the 3rd place winner. 3rd place will receive a 2,000 ringgit cash award and a certificate of achievement. Honored guests and members of the audience. 3rd place goes to Tan Yudian from University Technology Malaysia. That leaves us with our top 2 spots for this program. The 2nd place winner will receive a cash prize of 3,000 ringgit and a certificate of achievement, while our overall champion and 1st place winner will receive a cash prize of 4,000 ringgit and a certificate of achievement. Honored guests and members of the audience, we would like to invite ASM President Yang Berbahagia Professor Datuk Dr. Asma Ismail to announce the 1st place winner of the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. Over to you, Datuk Asma.
Okay. The 1st place winner of the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award is Y Hong from UTP. Congratulations.
And that means that our 2nd place award goes to Teo Aini from UCSI University. Thank you, Datuk Dr. Asma. We would like to invite our champion, Leong Wai Hong, and to share a few words.
Thank you, MC, Mr. Haikao. So thank you, everyone. Honestly, I didn't really expect that I will, come out with a champion. As I quite speechless right now because I've been quite dumbfounded. But first of all, thank you very much to YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award Committee, Prof. Datuk Dr. Asma, also our headmaster, Prof. Dr. Sharifah, Dr. Chai Lei Ching, also Mr. Handy, for conducting this entire program. It's been really, really enriching and experience. All those months of workshops, discussions, everything has been very meaningful and sounds hard to me. And then also my teammates, Team Marimo, it's been great working with you all. Like Aisha, Ling Wei, of course, not forgetting Prof. Danny. You've been great, inspirational, and also been very helpful throughout the entire project. So go Marimo, even though we didn't win, but yes, in fact, I really appreciate the bond that we have throughout our nightless discussions, our certain WhatsApp discussions and everything. I really appreciate that. And then to my other fellow finalists, congratulations to Team 2 since you bagged a lot of prizes. Okay, so never mind. But in that case, for other fellow finalists, it's been a great journey, experience through discussion workshops again. And I also hope to keep in touch and include possible collaboration in the future, like what Prof. Dr. Asma says. This entire My STIE thing, it requires interdisciplinary relations and actions between all of us, be it you are in the medical field, pharmaceutical field, engineering field or science or technology field. We have to work together to actually promote science as a forefront in our entire Malaysia development as an international community. And like I mentioned in my presentation, Tiger of Asia, it's time we rise up again. So, and then I really treasure this friendship and bond that we've bonded throughout this entire workshop and also Chrysalis Award. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Leong Wai Hong, our 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award champion. We would like to take this opportunity to have a short photo session with all our YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award winners. On my count of 3, we will be taking pictures. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, and maybe a few more pictures. Okay, in the count of 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And one last one with all winners. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations to all our winners. And with that, the 2021 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award Grand Final pitch has come to an end. The Academy of Sciences Malaysia would like to thank our organizing partners, Clinical Research Malaysia, Merck Malaysia Sedian Berhad, and Vitrox Corporation Berhad for their continuous cooperation and collaboration. We would also like to thank the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, mostly, for their continuous support. And we not forgetting to all our members of the audience who have joined us via Facebook Live for their time and support for this momentous program. Wherever you are, please stay safe and have a great day. Thank you.